ESPN Plus. This week at the Genesis Invitational, Tiger Woods plays his first competitive round of the year.
You want to help out this
See it
season?
first on ESPN Plus. Tiger hosts one of the strongest fields of the season as Scotty Scheffler, Justin Thomas, and Jordan Spieth light up Riviera. Exclusive main feed coverage and featured groups. The Genesis Invitational, Thursday through Sunday. PGA Tour Live, only on
I was going to text you
ESPN
this morning.
Plus.
It's only
Sign up now at espnplus.com/golf.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important
He's back
safety
here.
information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
If you're facing $10,000, $20,000, or even $30,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt, there are programs available
Medication
that can
still
consolidate
prescribed
those
by a
debts
licensed
into
medical
one
provider,
single
but with
reduced
zero
monthly
copay,
payment you can
no
afford
expensive
if you
appointments,
qualify.
and no awkward
Accredited
face-to-face
debt relief is on a
conversations.
mission to help
To
you
start your
become
free online
debt-free
visit,
in
you
just
need to go to this
24 to 48
exclusive
months.
address,
They've helped over 300,000
hims.com/joy.
qualified
That's
consumers. Hardworking
hims.com/joy
Americans just
for
like
your
you
free
pay off
online
more
visit.
than $1 billion in debt, earning them an
hims.com/joy.
A+ rating from the Better
When you've been in the
Business
industry
Bureau.
for over
Accredited
20
debt relief
years,
will tailor the program
you learn
to
a few
fit your
things.
specific
For one
budget and
thing,
financial
you learn your
situation.
product
So call
inside and
Accredited Debt
out.
Relief
But you
now
also
for your
learn how to
free
ask the
no
right
obligation
questions
savings
and
estimate.
give
Let
satisfying
them help you
answers.
take control of
Jim's
your financial
Firearms.
destiny.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies.
That's 800-249-8866.
800-248-7223.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX, Jackson, KNXX, Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. on Friday, February 16th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect cloudy skies with a high of 67 with an isolated shower or two mixed in. In hour one of today's show, Jacob Hester is live on location at Alex Box Stadium to kick off the 2024 LSU baseball season. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Hour number one of Off the Bench, live from Alex Box Stadium, starts now.
Let we go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I gotta come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, and welcome into OTB here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. You heard Taylor there. We are right outside of Alex Box Stadium, inside Tiger 1. No T-Bob Hebert, but that's okay. Troy LaBeouf picks up the slack. He's going to be with me for the next 2 hours, and we have some great guests. We've got Cade Beloso joining us at 8 o'clock. That's right, for the first time since Moby Dick was a minnow. He's not on the actual baseball team, but he will be here with us at 8 o'clock. We've got Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball, at 8:30 as well. So we are going to cover opening day here for LSU against VMI from every single angle, Troy.
Happy to be here, man.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. You and I did a show, I think about a year ago. I filled in on some shows. Appreciate it. I always have fun doing that. I like that the folks that work with y'all get a chance to do shows as well. You got two all-stars back in the studio right now to do a fantastic job. So I am an OTB fan. You know that. And been with you guys with advertising a while. So happy to be here. Excited about LSU baseball.
Yeah, we're all excited to be here. We don't know where T-Bob Hebert truly is. He says he's in Florida on a bachelor trip for his brother, but we'll see. We'll see how that weekend goes, and T will be back on Monday. And Troy, we are going to have fun here. We're going to talk about LSU baseball. We're going to do all the things that we wanted to do today, but unfortunately, we certainly have to start the show with some unfortunate news in the LSU sports world. And you probably know by now, but we're talking Trey Holly here. And yesterday, Sheriff Dusty Gates of Union Parish Sheriff's Office in Farmerville, Louisiana, up there in North Louisiana, he told ESPN that LSU running back Trey Holly had been taken into custody on 3 felony charges: attempted second-degree murder, aggravated criminal damage to property, and illegal use of a weapon. He's being held on a $512,000 bond. Gates also said that Holly turned himself in yesterday and was one of 3 arrests tied to the shooting that happened on February the 9th. When asked for a statement about Trey Holly, LSU sent in a statement that said they are aware that a student-athlete has been arrested in relation to a shooting in Union Parish, and LSU says that the athlete has been suspended indefinitely from all team activities. So again, had no plans, talking about this today, but when it came across the wire, it was shocking. And I know that there was, message board rumors of this happening even as early as yesterday morning. But, I mean, just with the serious nature of what it is, you never believe something like that, Troy. And so you heard the rumors, but you're like, okay, well, we're not going to be talking about that. That's not true. There's no way that's true. But now that we know this is, in fact, something that law enforcement wants to speak with Holly, I mean, he's brought in. It's not just for questioning, all right? This seems like this is a situation that, I mean, it's going to be a long process, and we'll find out more information. And, we'll update you as we get that information. But, I mean, this is as serious as it gets.
Yeah, it does. Obviously everybody gets an opportunity to have their day in court, innocent to unless proven guilty. First of all, my thoughts and prayers go out to the folks that were involved in that, their families as well. And obviously, you got to start the show with it. He's what looks to be a big part of what LSU is going to be next year, football-wise. And LSU did the regular statement I thought they would put out. They can't really comment on it. But,
right.
you know this, being a former player, and I'm a former just at the high school coach level, when you have time off and when guys leave and go back to maybe their hometowns, things don't tend to go well in some places. And I'm not saying Union Parish is a bad place. I'm just saying you're away from their normal routine.
Yeah.
You may be hanging around with some folks that you hung around with years ago. I don't know all the story behind it, but as a coach, you always was concerned about, is something going to happen while my guys are away from me?
Yeah, and I'm reading from Wilson Alexander here, of course, of The Advocate on Twitter. He said one of Trey Holly's attorneys told The Advocate that Holly will plead not guilty to all 3 charges, and said he emphatically denies all charges, and we look forward to having our day in court like you're talking about. So, yes, that is important to point out as well. But, again, the serious nature of what's being talked about here. And apparently he went home, Mardi Gras break, obviously here in South Louisiana. And, we get some extended time off. And so we'll see. We'll continue to follow this story, certainly. And Trey Holly has been suspended, again, indefinitely from all team activities in accordance with the policies of LSU. And so, again, something that we certainly had to lead the show off with. That is something that is a very, very serious nature. And we'll continue to update you on that story. And, things could potentially even happen today. You know how these things are. So anything that comes across the wire, you that information. Again, this is OTB here at Alex Box Stadium. We are inside Tiger One, Troy, as we get ready for opening day. We get ready for LSU versus VMI. LSU is the defending national champion. They've got a lot of players coming back that were part of that national championship team. It's always one of the favorite days in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I think the weather, typically, Taylor, he's back in studio. He's our weather guy. I think the weather is going to hold up, allow LSU to be able to go out there and take part in opening day. But I think a lot of people are excited. I mean, national championship, people are always excited for LSU baseball, but the national championship, you got, again, some of those faces coming back, and this should be a team that's right there in the end.
No doubt about it. I mean, Jay Johnson was brought here to restore championships. And, I mean, he did it. LSU had won a championship in 2009. It had been kind of a drought. They had made it back to the championship series, did not win. But what Jay Johnson has done in year 3 is remarkable. I mean, I think he's a fantastic coach. You talk about the weather. He's such a calculated guy. He's I'm sure he's got somebody on staff, or they're linked up with some other guy that's saying, hey, you might want to play that game a little bit earlier to get it in. That's just the type of coach I think Jay Johnson is alone. And he's got a great staff. If you look at his staff, brought a great pitching coach in, Coach Yelski. So he returns Wanaka and Jordan on the staff, and he's got some other support guys. But I think the excitement going into this season is at an all-time high. You do lose a lot of guys. I know we'll talk about that today, but, you know, as a coach, you can't really worry about last year. Those guys are gone. New guys have to step into roles. It's a lot of pressure when you put on that, to put on that LSU uniform. It's a lot of pressure.
After a national championship year, my freshman year, there's things that come with that.
Yeah.
Like, you have to understand what you're doing and your job for that defending national championship team, but also, like, those that came before you. And the standard of LSU football, just the same thing as the LSU standard of baseball. So, yeah, there's some pressures. And it doesn't matter if you're a freshman, because, like, when I was playing, that's what it was. You had freshmen. You might have a JUCO guy here and there, but now you have freshmen. But just because someone's coming over for their sophomore, junior, senior year, Troy, that pressure's still there.
It's there. Look, Mac Bingham, the transfer from Maryland, he can't beat Cruz. If he tries to beat Cruz, he's gonna fail. He needs to be Mac Bingham. He's a good player. That's just one example. Paxton Kling, he's got to be himself. He can't be Joe Bear. I mean, you
almost said Dylan Cruz, and you're like, nobody can be Dylan Cruz.
No.
I saw it in your eyes.
One of the best. But you got some really good pieces. I think if you rank the guys who's the most important for this LSU team, I know we'll get into it today. I got some thoughts on that, where I think who can LSU not lose this year and still be successful. I think the one thing you look at, Wake Forest has it, Arkansas has it, Florida has it, and LSU has it. They got arms.
Yeah.
They got a ton of arms. Those four teams.
You can almost throw Vandy in that category as well.
So LSU's going to have some guys, and last year that was a question mark for them. But when the team hits over 300, they out-hit a lot of people last year. I think they're eventually going to hit, but the guys are grinding. They can't put pressure on themselves early to beat last year's team, because they're not going to be last year's team.
It does feel like a different makeup. Feels like a completely different makeup, and you look at some of the strengths that potentially, again, everybody has a plan until the first pitch, but it seems like the makeup of this team is going to be a little flipped. Now, there's still going to be bats in the lineup. Who protects Tommy White in the lineup is going to be a big question. All those are things that we'll try to answer here today, as we are here on Matthew Musso's favorite day of the year, opening day for LSU baseball, as Moose shakes his head. I don't know. Do you think Moose or Hunt Palmer?
I was thinking about that on the way here. Those guys, it's like Christmas for those guys. They do a fantastic job of putting content. I stole some of Moose's content for today. You know, I
cite your work once. Just once, and then it's yours. Then it's your own.
Yeah, we'll give him credit. We'll give him
just once.
Yeah, we just did. We're not saying anything else.
Yeah, by the time we get to 7:17, if they tune in, they won't know.
Who is Musso?
Exactly. Well, they'll know Moose. I think so. All right, we're going to take our first break of the show. Again, we are going to break down LSU baseball. We have some great guests coming your way. Kay Beloso at 8 o'clock. We have Kendall Rogers of D1 Baseball joining us at 8:30. So we are talking all things LSU baseball, all things LSU sports, and we'll do so when we hop back here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, go to K2ZBlinds.com, K2ZBlinds.com. They are truly a one-stop shop for all your needs in the shades, shutters, and drapes game, interior and exterior. They've helped me out in the exterior. Actually, that exterior help has turned into interior help, because I got a shade right there on my back porch. I throw this thing down, and, yeah, it shades the back porch, but also it shades the entire living room. So on Sundays, you're trying to watch football. You got the glare on the TV. You push the button, it goes down. It takes care of that. And Brandon Barton was in my house for like 10, 15 minutes tops, and he had it measured. He knew exactly what we needed. I needed a Roman shade there for our kitchen. Same situation. He comes in 5 to 10 minutes, already knows exactly what I need. and even picks the right color. I said, hey, we want to match the cabinets and kind of the granite here. He's like, got it. First one he pulled matched perfectly. He's been in this game so long, he is going to know your space better than you know your space, and he's going to do it. It's incredible, like 5-10 minutes. I promise you, he's in, he's out, and he's going to get that work done. K2ZBlinds.com. Give them a call today to set everything up. 225-228-0855. K2ZBlinds.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Happy New Year from your friends at Front to Back Boat Service. And what better way to kick off your new year than by taking your boat to the next level? Get the boat of your dreams, and that's where Front to Back comes into play. You want that spot lock trolling motor that's going to keep you right there on the water where you need to be. How about some forward-facing sonar that actually shows you the fish before you even cast? Custom stereo jobs, all of it. Sherman family's been doing it for 38 years. Go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com.
Join me for an opening day edition of the Hunt Palmer Show from the box, presented by Corks. Cade Beloso, Doug Thompson, Chris Demouy. We're talking LSU baseball for 2 hours, special time, noon to 2, from just outside the box on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, and welcome back into OTB here right in front of Alec Box Stadium inside of Tiger 1. Heard Hunt promo there. Cade Beloso. Ha ha! He's coming on our show first, Hunt. Early bird gets the worm, Hunt. Got to wake up early to get that.
Got to get up early, Hunt. No, I heard some of Hunt's guests. He's got some good guests too now. Got to give him credit on it. He's he's cramming all his stuff right now, but it's all up there. Like Musa, that stuff's all up there, and they just it's all swirling around. He can't wait to get it out today, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, they've been going to fall practices, they've been going to scrimmages, and they're certainly fired up. Actually, a little programming note, trying to see if we can get Hayden Travinsky to walk on over here, join us on set at some point today. I don't know if there's room for Hayden Travinsky.
I'll move.
But we'll make some room for
I'll move.
I'll get down there. Nobody needs to see me. So, again, we are here at Alex Box Stadium. 2 p.m. is first pitch time. Of course, you can hear it over on 98.1, the Eagle, and SEC Network Plus, I believe, on the TV side of things. So, a couple of new faces, a couple of new people. You mentioned one of them, Mac Bingham, is probably one of the players I'm most excited to see of the new guys. And this is somebody that Torrey Pines High School, I know the high school very well. They're in San Diego. Jay Johnson knows San Diego very well, so he recruits him to Arizona. He's an all Pac-12 performer a year ago at Arizona, and this is somebody that yesterday Jay Johnson told us he had some ups and downs in the fall. He said, but since we've come back from break, he has been locked in, and I'm excited to see this guy. I think there's some real potential. I think he can raise his level of play. Again, he's an all-conference player, but you're trying to replace some really good outfielders. We know Dylan Cruz, Joe Barry, you mentioned him. I mean, those are MLB draft choice guys. So Mac Bingham's going to have a lot of pressure, but I feel like he is ready for that pressure.
Yeah, he hit 360 last year in Arizona. On-base percentage, I think, about 430. So he got on base. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I know I wish I had a nickel for every time we're going to mention Dylan Cruz. We know what his percentage was last year, and you hate to continue to talk about last year's team, but to get to this point, you certainly have to. But he gets on base a lot. At least he did at Arizona. Jay Johnson's got a familiarity with him. He's a guy that can probably steal some base. I think this LSU team is going to be able to steal a little bit bases this year. Last year they were base to base.
Yeah, it wasn't something they did.
Home runs. Hit 145 last year, I think. So I really like just what I've read up on Bingham. Watched a little bit of the videos and stuff. He's got Torrey Pines High School. I like that. He's got a lot of pressure on him, man.
Pretty nice golf course. Yeah, close to the high school. In case you were wondering.
No doubt about it. But he's got a lot of pressure on him. I think. Hopefully he doesn't feel that way. He just needs to come in and be the best Mac Bingham he could be. Hit over 300 last year. He was a 10 home run guy for him. So I would expect. I mean, you lost 85 home runs off of last year's team. Yeah. So he's going to be a guy I think maybe can be counted on for 12 to 15 home runs.
And you're going to be looking for somebody, as we mentioned in the opening segment, to protect Tommy White, right? Tommy White is somebody that even playing injured last year, we know what he's capable of, right? I mean, 100 RBI guy with a shoulder that he said has popped out like 30 times last year. And if you've ever had a shoulder issue, you know exactly what he's talking about. Once you do it, you can pop it back into place, but you know, sometimes it's the slightest movement that can pop it right back out. And so now that he's had surgery, he feels like he's fully healthy to go. You're not worried about him. Like, you know he'll show up, but you do start to get concerned if he can't be protected. Where do you put him in the lineup, right? And we've seen LSU's best hitters at times lead off because of that. Right? You're going to force the other team to pitch to your guy. And so when we're talking about guys like Mac Bingham, yes, for what he can do in his individual play, Troy, but also what can you do to protect our best hitter?
I got Mac. I'm projecting my lineup. I got Mac in the 5-hole, but something tells me he could be in a 2-hole. I got Pearson there right now where I think projection-wise, I think Michael Braswell, who we'll talk about, could be up in the top part of the lineup as well. I got him down at 6 or 7. But to me, Travinsky or Mac Bingham, in my opinion, are going to be the two guys behind Tommy White. If I'm playing LSU, Tommy White's not seeing a lot of good pitches. I mean, he's not. And you're going to have to show me the guy behind him. And obviously we know he had protection this past year.
Yeah, and then you start looking at maybe guys in front of Tommy White and Paxton Kling. There's a lot of LSU fans that are waiting for him to take off. And look, he was a young player last year, came in with high expectations. Not many times can you come into a place like LSU and from day one it's like, hey, get out there. We're going to count on you. You're going to be a guy. And, you know, he got that opportunity, and then because, look, he's a freshman, he didn't seize that opportunity, and he found himself, you know, with less and less playing time as the season went along. But they are counting on Paxton Kling to take that next step. He has all the tools to be, you know, an elite leadoff hitter, but the tools are only half the battle.
Yeah,
you got to go out there and do it.
I would agree with you. Got to start 22 games last year. out of the 57. So a small sample size of what we think Paxton Kling could be. Hit about 289, 290. On-base percentage was almost 400, which is good. He's got to be able to – he's got to set the table. He's got to be one of the table setters. Tommy White led the country with RBIs last year because he had guys in front of him that got on base. He's got to do that again. But I'm very eager to see what Paxton Kling. You saw early in the season last year, Coach Johnson started Paxton Kling, if you remember. And that's another thing, folks. Don't freak out. The lineup you see today may not be the lineup you're going to see in Game 30.
Yeah. Almost certainly will not be.
I mean, there are going to be some changes. There were some changes last year. I mean, nobody, the opening day card, when you saw your name on that opening day card, that's not the starting lineup that played in the national championship game. So I think you got some guys like Tommy White and Pearson and Travinsky, Michael Braswell. Those guys are going to see their name on the lineup card every single day. Who are the other guys? I think you throw Mac Bingham in there. Who are the other 3 or 4 guys that are going to be there? And I know we're going to talk about a freshman in Jake Brown at some point today.
Yeah.
I know they're excited about him.
Another freshman last year that, if we're talking about the same thing, got an opportunity to go out there every day and really proved himself and then fell into a slide there, which, look, all freshmen do in all sports at some point, but that's Bear Jones. And last year, 14 home runs, 45 RBIs. He is somebody that was 2023 freshman All-SEC. He was 2023 second-team freshman All-American. And so, he played well. And there was a little bit of a slide, and then he loses playing time, and they found the right mix of lineup to lead them to a national championship. But another guy, you've seen it. You've seen it at this level. You're not projecting at this point. You have seen him have success. He has hit big hits. You go back to that Kentucky series. He's had moments. But then, as all freshmen, typically do, there's going to be a wall that you hit, and it's a longer season, longer than you've ever played before. If they can get him back on the pace that he was on early last year, then you're talking about putting somebody right there in the middle of your lineup that gives you true power.
I got him around 7 or 8 in the lineup just to start. Maybe you put him a little bit lower to take a little bit of pressure off him. The one thing that the 14 home runs certainly jump out on the page to you. The other thing that jumps out, unfortunately, on the negative side is strikeouts.
Yeah.
It's got to cut down on the strikeouts. Musa and I were talking about it before. He's going to see breaking balls. That's what he struggled with last year. He can hit a fastball to the Mississippi River.
Yeah.
He can crush a fastball. He's got to be able to hit the breaking ball. I think he's going to be, he finished with a 304 average last year. Like you said, he played early. He started in, I think it looks like 47 games last year. So he had a lot of starts. But toward the end of the season, they went with the guys that, the seasoned veterans that end up carrying him to a national championship. But I do like what Jared Jones brings to the table.
And then you look at a guy like Michael Braswell. You mentioned him a little bit earlier on, and he's playing the key position. He's playing shortstop. And LSU fans had a very interesting relationship with Jordan Thompson over the last couple of years. Now, certainly, there were some times where he struggled in the field and maybe at the plate, but there's also some clutch times from Jordan Thompson. And, he gave you many big moments and came up with many big hits, but his defense was something that a lot of fans, and he worked hard. That last year was probably his best year defensively, but fans, they're looking for something maybe a little bit more consistent, and they hope Braswell is able to give you that.
I would agree with that. I love Jordan Thompson. I thought he was just a clutch player for LSU. Like you said, he had his ups and downs, but how many big plays he made. The glove was not as good the previous year, but he improved on that. He went to work. But how many big hits did he have last year for him? But talking about Braswell, had a good season, as a sophomore at South Carolina. Hit about 260 in the SEC with 7 doubles, 15 RBIs. But if you listen to Coach, I've listened to Coach Johnson talk about Braswell. When that guy jumped in the portal, he got a call that day.
Yeah.
And he was like, Braswell, I think LSU was heading toward the College World Series when he talked to Braswell. And he's like, well, Coach, when y'all finish, I'll come see you. He said, no. I want you here tomorrow. We'll have time to talk before we head out of town. And he locked him up right there because he knew he needed somebody to step. Because I think Coach Johnson loved Jordan Thompson.
Oh, yeah. There's no question about that. It's somebody that, he recruited when he was at Arizona. I mean, he's there. He's from San Diego as well, so he certainly did. All right, we are going to take a break now. We have still got much more coverage of LSU baseball. Obviously, we'll get to some other things surrounding the LSU and Saints sports world. We'll do it all here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, go to getgordon.com. Getgordon.com. That is where you can find all the information for what Gordon can do for you in the courtroom. Cases that they can handle, past client results. All that information will be right there on the website. You can meet the team on the website. You can get a free consultation on the website. You can have a chat with them right there on the website. So it is set up for your success and to give you all the information. Again, getgordon.com is always going to be the website. At getgordon is always going to be the handle as well on all major social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you're at. And then you can see what they're doing in the community. They've always got something going on there. You can see what they're doing for your favorite Tiger. Chances are they're on the G team as well. So all of that is going to be on social media. Again, at Get Gordon is always going to be the handle. Now, pick up the phone in Louisiana and you know the deal. No matter where you're at, 318-225-504, 985-337. Put your area code followed by 888-8888. You can have a conversation with the team over there at Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Again, getgordon.com is the website. At GetGordon is the handle on all major social media. And then your area code in Louisiana followed by 888-8888. Get Gordon and get it done.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
It was a humid day. Barefoot children play. Looking for that summer shade. Time to slip away. Some kind of hold on me, like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions.
Moscona inviting you to join us for Friday's AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. It's opening day at the box, and we've got an extended edition. So join us for Friday's AFR starting at 2 o'clock, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
And welcome back into OTB here live from Alec Box Stadium inside of Tiger One. Got Troy LaBeouf here filling in for the forever vacationing T-Bob A-Bear.
You working.
He's back to that nickname.
Super Bowl you're doing. Let me get this straight. Super Bowl you're doing 10 hours a day about?
7 and some change. So not 10. I need to claim 10 though.
Yeah. You could claim that.
But I guess if you're talking about production meetings, it was 10.
So T was doing his 3 hours, right?
Yes.
So you need a vacation.
The problem is, Troy, I think some people, because I wasn't here, like they would consider, he's on vacation in Las Vegas when
right.
I was working multiple shows, which is great. I love it. So I need to take a vacation from all shows. That's the problem. Like, don't take a vacation to go work, the other show.
Unplug. Just unplug.
Yes.
But I know you love it, and you do a fantastic job.
At some point, there will be an unplug, though. There will be an unplug. There will be like a week. Yeah, because if I unplug, T-Bob might be unplugging as well.
Give me a call.
I've got the vacation built up. I think, I've got like almost 4 weeks.
Garden gives that much?
So, well, no, it carries over.
Gotcha.
And I haven't used it. So
I use mine. Use yours.
I need to use mine. All right. We'll see. We'll see if T-Bob makes it. He says he's coming back on Monday. So, yeah, that
be prepared.
That face says it all.
Be prepared to be solo.
Yes. All right, we will talk a lot of LSU baseball here. We'll find our way back here. But want to talk some LSU football. We got, mock draft season, and so every NFL draft site's putting out their mock draft, and I bring that up because you'll notice that LSU has 2 receivers there going firmly in the first round, and Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. Well, who are you going to replace those players with? And ESPN.com put out an article, Troy, most important newcomer for each top 25 college football team. And, I was intrigued because of the signing class that LSU just brought in, some of the transfers, who was going to be for the LSU Tigers, and, well, it makes sense. It is C.J. Daniels transferring from Liberty. And the write-up says LSU is losing its top receivers from last year who are both off to the NFL. The two combined for 2,746 of the team's 4,406 receiving yards and 31 of the team's 44 receiving touchdowns. And that is a lot of production to try to replace this offseason, but Daniels should help. He's a 6'2", 200-pound receiver who led Liberty in receiving yards and touchdowns this past season with a little over 1,000 yards, 1,067 yards, and 10 touchdowns. He should be an instant impact player. And that's from Tom Van Haren, our guy over at ESPN. And he should be. I mean, he was really, really good at Liberty. Liberty plays a very high level of football. They got to a New Year's Six bowl game. But you don't just roll the helmet out there and replace a Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. I know you know Brian Thomas Jr. from coaching in high school and watching him grow and develop. He is a player that if it wasn't for a Malik Neighbors, I mean, he could be a 1 anywhere in the country. He just so happened to be a 1B to Malik Neighbors. But you're not just losing a top 10 guy. You're losing 2 probably top 20 guys in those 2 guys, and trying to replace them is going to be difficult.
I remember Malik, too, when he was in high school. He transferred, ended up having to sit out a year. He went from Como to Southside. He was a fantastic – but I never imagined he would turn into a receiver. He turned into – he kind of reminded me of a Jarvis Landry. He was kind of built that way. I mean, you saw him up close and personal. Was he bigger than Jarvis?
Yeah, he's a little bit bigger. I think he's a little bit bigger than Jarvis.
Speed-wise, maybe a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Outstanding hands, but the one that really intrigued me is the one you just talked about was Brian Thomas Jr. I mean, the guy, I'll say this, basketball player. Guys that get recruited for football, a lot of times some of those guys do play basketball. The coaches will go. I remember when I was coaching back in the day at Donaldsonville High School, Jarvis Green, Jarvis was a great football player. He was a 265, 6'5", defensive end that could play all three people on the option. One with his hand, one with his chest, and the pitch man with the other hand.
Yeah.
Coaches, including Coach O, who was at Syracuse at the time, would come watch him play basketball.
Yeah.
He played about a minute a game. But they got a chance to talk to him after the game.
Yeah.
But my point is, Brian Thomas Jr. was an outstanding basketball player. Could dunk it any way you wanted to. Had great skills on the basketball court, which I think correlated to the football field as well. Those two guys will be missed. You mentioned Daniels coming from a different level.
Yeah.
Watched some videos, read some stuff about him. He looks like he could be a really good player. I mean, we're seeing more and more of these players from these G5 schools going to P5 schools and playing well, but he's going to have a huge amount of pressure on him as he comes into the program.
Well, I know there's another player that you certainly watched in the high school ranks that is going to be asked to step up and be not only like a guy that they can count on, but one of the go-to guys, and that is Chris Hilton coming over from Zachary. We've seen flashes. We have certainly seen flashes. We've seen injuries as well, unfortunately. We know what kind of speed that he has, but Chris Hilton's going to have to step up as well. Like, he is going to have to be somebody that in 11 personnel is on the field at all times.
22 receptions in his first 3 years.
Yeah.
I look for him to probably double that jumping into this next season. But if you look at the average per catch, 17 yards per catch. He could take a top off of a defense. I think he's got good hands. The one bug he's had is the injury bug.
Yeah.
If he can overcome that, he's got a fantastic family. His dad, I think, coaches as well. Big part of that. So Chris Hilton Jr., as you mentioned, came from Zachary, came from one of the top programs in the state of Louisiana. I like what he brings along. And I know this other name, a lot of people, he drops the ball too much, but I think he's a good player, is Kyron Lacey. I think he can be.
He's got to be, in my opinion.
Got to be a dude.
He's got to be a one.
Yeah.
Like, he's had good moments. He has had big plays. He's also had the drops at times in some big moments and some third downs. Like, it's been critical moments. And so, like, if you want to go from a nice, like, secondary piece to the piece, you have to be consistent and you have to be trusted. And if I'm Garrett Nussmeier, I have to know that on 3rd and 8 and you're running – the 9-yard route right at the sticks, that if I throw it, you're going to make the play. Like, that's the last part of his evolution of being a good player to a great player. Because, like, you look at the Texas A&M game, like, he's had moments where he has been able to take over a game, but you got to get the trust in your quarterback. Like, Jaden had that, and that's what made, I think, Jaden's year so special last year is he trusted Malik. He trusted Brian Thomas. Like, he would put it up in the air, he'd put it in a good spot, and he knew that his guy was going to either make the play or not allow the other guy to make the play. And that's like the last piece. For Kyron Lacey, he's got to be that guy for Garrett Nussmeier.
What I like about Kyron, he's 6'2". I think he's legit 6'2". He's a big receiver. He's kind of like a Brian Thomas. I think Brian Thomas might have been closer to 6'3", 6'4". But Kyron's a big physical receiver that made some tough catches as a third option for LSU. But like you said, he's got to jump 2 spots on the line. He's got to cut the line and get to the front of the line. Can he do that? I think he can. I think he's got the ball skills. I think he's a guy, he's going to be living with the jugs, I would imagine, in the offseason, catching a lot of balls from Nuss, working on his game. Because I think the guy coming out of Thibodeau High School, he was one of the top players in the state of Louisiana 3 or 4 years ago. So I like what Kyron Lacey brings, a guy that I really want to see come. And I hope he can. And I want you to comment on him, is Aaron Anderson.
Yeah.
He was so good in high school. He looked, this past year at LSU, just didn't look comfortable. Just did not look comfortable.
There was a lot of times. And so, like, in the return game, like, that's what he was brought in for, because you were so bad in the return game 2 years ago. You brought him in to be that guy, to be the spark plug, to be able to catch punts and actually have a punt return, to do something more on kickoff return. Like, he was a guy that you identified in the portal at being a game changer. And you're right, we saw him do that at the high school level. And, like, one muff punt, it's like, all right, you're done. You're out. And then you became fair catch, again. It's like multiple years in a row where you go back there, you don't even have the threat of a punt return. And I know you don't have a lot of returns in college football anymore because of the shield punt. There's no rules. You can be down the field as far as you want before the punter kicks it, and so that plays into it as well. But he was supposed to be, a playmaker where you could give a now screen. You could give a bubble screen, too, in the offense. And his skill set was to be able to run it like a running back and find that crease and hit some big plays, and that never happened. And then to Troy's point, there's a lot of times he'd be out there and I'd see him patting his chest. Well, if you see somebody patting their chest out there, he ran the wrong route. And he's got to be a bigger part of the offense because this offense is going to have younger players that are going to have the ability to take his place. You get a transfer from Mississippi State who's kind of the same guy, right, in theory as far as return guy, spark guy. So it's going to be tough for him, I think, to get on the field. He's going to have to prove himself. And then also we haven't even mentioned guys like Shelton Sampson Jr. from Catholic High. Right, he was a freshman last year. You talk about big-body receiver. I mean, he's got the length as well. That's somebody that wants to find his way onto the field. So this room is deep. Now, it's not experience, but it's a deep room.
Going back to Andrew, I would agree with you. I want to talk about Sampson in a second, but Aaron Anderson, I think his time, I think he can catch the football. His athletic ability is off the charts. He's got to spend some time in the film room. He's got to really learn the offense. It's got to be natural where, as a football player, if you're out there thinking, you're going to make mistakes. Yeah. It's got to be natural for him. And I think he's got an opportunity to get there. Shelton Sampson, who I thought would play a little bit more this past season, but they were so good at receiver. It was hard to get reps out there. He was getting reps with the second team. Second team didn't get as many reps as the first team. So I do think Sampson could maybe step into that fourth receiver role if he can show that he can be consistent. He had a couple of drops last year, I remember, in a couple of games, but he was probably putting a lot of pressure on himself. He comes from Moscona's favorite school, and I think he can be a good player for him.
Yeah, you don't have to scream it like he does.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, we all know. My little brother coaches football over there now, and so he's like already he's in there.
Like he's a Bruin.
It's like once you go there, it's like I think it's a requirement.
I think it's a ritual, like it's a baptism.
Yeah, look, hey, they've earned the right. They're out there winning. It seems like in almost every sport. Sampson, going back one last point on the receiver room, like he is somebody that he's different than the other guys. Like when you look at his body, look at his frame, like he is a little bit different. And so if you're trying to break into a very crowded receiver room, you have to be different. Like you can't be the same mold as the other guys. And so I think that's going to give him potentially the opportunity. And that signing class last year, and I know you lose one to Florida State, but that signing class last year at that position and this one this year, there's going to be some heavy competition to get on to the field for Garrett Nussmeier when you're in that 11 personnel.
The one thing I wanted to ask you before I know we're bumping on our break here, with the Trey Holly situation, we don't know what's going to come of that.
Yeah,
you're in the running back room. You look at what comes back. Does the depth concern you if Trey Holly can't come back?
No, I mean I still think you've got guys that have done it. You've got Steady Eddie
Josh
still
Williams
coming back. Josh Williams is somebody that you can count on. It's a room that I feel like you could take a little bit of a punch and still be able to go out. Like you're surprised that I was surprised that Logan Diggs decides to go to Ole Miss. And so you still got some there. And also, I hate to talk bad about my own position, but it is the one position that I've always said you can come in the fastest and play from high school to college. You can either run the football, Troy, or you can't. You're either born to be able to run zone or you can't. Like, so for me, and there's not a lot of pass protection in college football anymore either. Like, that was always the thing. Like, you could come in, run the football. Could you pass protect? Nobody asked anyone to pass protect anymore, right? It's like you have one check and you go, or you have a free release. Like, in the old days, like back in my day, it was like you had true sub protection where you had to scan the field. Offenses got away from that. Offenses want to get their back out into the route, and so that's not as big of a part as it used to be. So
Josh Williams was so good in pass protection.
Yes.
If you zero in on, most people watch the game, like you probably like myself, watch certain positions, watch the offensive line play. The amount of blitzes that guy picked up and decleated people from his running back position. He's got to be one of the strongest guys, pound for pound, on a football team. Caden Durham comes in. With the Trey Holly situation, Durham probably may jump up anyway, even if Holly is back, but I think he's huge for him next year.
Yeah, and then Caleb Jackson. And Caleb Jackson's somebody that I think is going to get a lot of run next year. Now, the things that you'd like to see him continue to work on, like the pass protection, yes, because you don't want to fall into tendencies. Like, you don't want to be in there, and it's like, all right, when Caleb Jackson's in the game, it's going to be a run, and when Josh Williams is in there, it's going to be a pass. So, you know, that's on you to be able to continue to develop those skill sets for those players. He's got to work on that, but also hold on to the football. got to be like, if you're going to be a punishing runner, which he absolutely is, you have to be able to do those things, but also have the football high and tight. Like, and there is a skill to that. Like, if you're going to be a physical runner, we know you can run through people, but you can't be careless with the ball when you're running through those people. I think there was times last year in games and at practice over on the Ponderosa where he'd put the ball on the ground, and that will be the quickest thing to not get you on the field at the running back position. You'd like to see a little bit softer hands. Ole Miss game, you're trying to get him involved because he is a freak athlete. He's going to be an incredible football player. You try to get him into the flats, you throw one, would have been a first down, maybe changes the narrative of the game. He drops it. You see Brian Cale in the sideline. You can read why is he in there. Get older guy in there. Yes. And so those are things that he has to work on. But if he does, you're talking about somebody that's got a rare skill set of size and speed.
How many times you fumbled in college? Once?
Once.
I thought so. Just one time.
One time against Georgia and Thomas Davis.
You never forget that.
No, the ball went like 20 feet in the air, I think.
Did you carry it for the next week? Like between classes, stuff like that?
Man, that was not a good time. We got our butts kicked, too, in Athens. It was like 45-7 or something. David Green completed like 19 of 20 passes.
Lefty.
Xavier Carter took a knee on the one. That was a big play from that game that a lot of people remember.
Right.
Yeah. It's the last time that I said, hey, you got open grass, let's go challenge the All-American Safety 101 to try to set a tone. That never happened again. Thanks for bringing it up, though, Troy.
I just had to ask.
We'll take a break, finish up hour number 1 of OTB when we come back here on 104.5 ESPN.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, welcome back into I'm just kidding. CentralPlumbing.org. CentralPlumbing.org is the name of the site. Go there today and check out what they can do for you. Check out what they can do for you in the plumbing game, and 24/7, 365 emergency service is always what you're going to get from Central Plumbing. 225-925-8552. We tell you all the time, even if it's during the Super Bowl, right, and it's overtime, and you're like, oh, man, I got an issue. I got to get it fixed. I've got water leaking everywhere. They're going to come out then. Opening day here, LSU baseball, first pitch, 2 o'clock. They want to watch it. Doesn't matter, though. You're the priority. They're going to come out. They're going to fix whatever issue that you might have. And so give that number a call, any emergency that you have. And also just put it in your phone, 225-925-8552, and then go to centralplumbing.org. Find the website and check out what they can do for you in the remodel game. Check out what they can do for you as far as going tankless with the tankless water heater. So many different things that they can do for you over at Central Plumbing. Again, 225-925-8552, and always online at centralplumbing.org.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Bayou Ford has new 23 Ford F-150 STX trucks for only $39,995. $39,995 plus 1.9% financing for 72 months. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Join MMR and ignite your career today. MMR is the largest electrical and instrumentation contractor in the nation, and they're seeking talented individuals to join their team. For over 3 decades, they've been headquartered right here in Baton Rouge, and they have offices all around the globe.
And MMR offers a tailored path for both professional and personal development, outstanding benefits, and a dynamic culture. So whether you're an intern, a seasoned pro, or you're just starting out, see what MMR can offer you. Apply at mmrgrp.com.
He's here. Anyone want a Coors Light?
Oh, shoot, I forgot to play the song. I got a guy who can fix this.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
And welcome back into OTB 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Again, we are live right here outside of Alex Box Stadium, inside of Tiger One, and we will certainly get back to some of the baseball discussion. Cade Beloso going to join us in about 8 minutes from now. But one more point here on LSU football. We saw the S&P Plus pre-spring football practice rankings released. LSU comes in inside the top 10, actually right at number 10, and the way that they break down S&P Plus, they do it as far as offense and defense and special teams, and they put it all together. LSU third in offensive S&P Plus, 34th in defensive S&P Plus. If they can get to 34 on defense, that would be truly amazing. Get to 34, and just imagine last year, Troy, if they were at 34, like what this team would have been
in the playoffs.
Just imagine if they were 54th
in the playoffs. I mean, nobody would have envisioned last year the offense, what they did. We thought LSU's – I mean, listening to you guys talk about it, you thought the LSU offense was going to be good, but you didn't think it was going to be that good. And then defensively, I still scratch my head. I don't know what happened defensively to that team because they were not that bad the year before.
Right. They were in the range of a top 40 defense the year before.
Defensive coordinator didn't forget how to coach football. Those guys don't forget how to coach football. I look at it like this. How many pros they had on defense?
Future pros, maybe the bigger conversation, but I mean, to your point, you've like Mekhi Wingo will be a pro. You look at like Mason Smith, he'll probably be a pro, but could have certainly come back and used another year. God, there was just a disconnect. I mean, there was a major disconnect from what everyone was trying to get done.
I would agree with that. It just looked a lot of confusion. I know we about to bump against the top here, but it was just frustrating to see defensively. Like even when you watched them against, what was it, Grambling maybe, moving the football the way they did, and I know it was a game that nobody cared about, but that's just one example. But I think they're going to be better defensively. That's another show for us to talk about. So.
They have certainly tried to bring in multiple people to be able to get that done. A brand new defensive staff. Everybody's all new, and they put all the resources and effort into fixing that side of the football. So it'll certainly be something that all of us will be paying attention to because we still think that they're going to have a top-tier offense. All right, you've got the weapons, you've got the quarterback, some of the receivers that we talked about, and you've got the offensive line, which I know we can probably find our way to at some point because that is going to be one of your biggest strengths is that offensive line. All right, we are going to take that break. We're going to continue our coverage again live here from Alex Box Stadium inside of Tiger One when we come back here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, go to AccuTempBR.com. AccuTempBR.com is the website. We tell you every single day about the reviews from Accutemp because, well, those are truthful. If you've ever worked with Accutemp, you know exactly what we're talking about. You are going to get top-tier service. You are going to get the best service around there. That's just what Accutemp is. That's who they are. You can schedule that appointment online on that website, accutempbr.com. In the top right corner, schedule online, get that done. And look, I've done it before where I've been in studio. I tell you this all the time, and they have beat me to my home. That's the kind of service you get at Accutemp, and you know exactly who is coming into your home when you deal with Accutemp. They send you a bio. They tell you exactly, hey, this is who this person is, this is how long they've been with us, and this is the kind of work that they're going to do for you. So again, schedule that appointment online or call 225-396-4512, accutempbr.com.
Value Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $17,500 off new 23 1500 Bitcoin trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $17,500 off new Ram 1500 trucks. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. on Friday, February 15th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect cloudy skies with a high of 67 and maybe a shower mixed in here or there. In hour 2 of today's show, Jacob Hester will be joined by LSU head baseball coach Jay Johnson and former LSU Tiger Cade Beloso. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from Alex Box Stadium, starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
And welcome back back into OTB here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. We are live outside of Alec Box Stadium inside of Tiger One. We kicked Troy off the stage because we've got our guy Jay Johnson joining us now, getting ready for opening day. Coach, back-to-back days. We get a chance to talk to you here on OTB.
Yeah, I only agreed to it because T-Bob's not here. So just kidding. T-Bob, we love you.
No. Not right now, we don't. How about this, Coach? So he gives our producers a hard time for maybe taking off like in the middle of the week. On Tuesday, he took off for Fat Tuesday to go enjoy Mardi Gras. And then today, he's missing because he's on a bachelor party. That's 2 days in 1 week. He's just, out there partying.
I don't know if this is using this right. Is that on brand? Is that what that means?
Yes, that is using that exactly right. And that is on brand for T-Bob Hebert. So he says he'll be back on Monday.
Nice.
I don't believe him, but he said he'll be back on Monday.
We'll see.
We're going to see your team today. And opening day always is an exciting day. I know you have to be fired up, and you go through fall baseball, you go through the scrimmages, and you start to figure out maybe who this new team is going to be. You're the defending national champion, so that comes with some expectations. But as we've talked about before, I mean, the expectation at this place is to always be a team like that.
Yeah, and for me, it's no different. It's about doing the work. It's about focusing on what you can control, and really, I feel like we're prepared for that. Just from your first year, it's your first year, so everybody's really paying attention. Last year, there'll never be another team in the history of college baseball with the expectations that were placed on that team, and one of the things I'm most proud of them is for meeting those along the way. And then this year, it feels like normal, honestly, to me. And I think our players, we're so into the mindset piece that it's about what's relevant, and what's relevant is how we prepare, how we play, and we've improved a lot in the last month. So I'm excited. We need to play some other people now to take that next step.
Have you seen any players that last year were a piece of the national championship team, but really this year you can tell they've changed their level of play, not just on the field, off the field as well, to make sure they become, a piece of what's going on there, but also with their leadership?
Yeah, I think that's been one of the highlights. When you look at Hayden Travinsky, Alex Milazzo, those guys have really stepped forward. And at the catching position, that's super important. Josh Pearson's not an outgoing guy.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's outgoing, but he's not a vocal guy, maybe. It would be a better way to say it. But just by the way he goes about his business. Tommy White, he couldn't play in the fall because of an injury, but really took that on. A guy like Will Helmers has always been kind of one of our emotional leaders. So those guys saw the value of good player leadership, and they're paying that forward this year for sure.
Yeah, and we were talking about Tommy White a little bit earlier in the show. I can't imagine what he was going through with his shoulder. I played with a torn labrum, but that was it was week 17, and you played that game, and you find a way to play in the playoffs, which that's a couple of weeks. You can, the fact that he was doing it all season long, because you mentioned it with us yesterday. It was this weekend last year that he gets hurt, and he found a way to not only play, but to lead the country in RBIs.
Yeah, it was remarkable. He's such a competitor, and I'm always drawing that fine line, with his character of hey, man, this guy, he looks like he's going to explode on somebody, but then he's right back on at the next pitch, totally focused. It's the perfect combo of focus and competitiveness that makes him an elite hitter with all his other tools.
I've never seen somebody, you're exactly right, that has the aggression that he has, and it looks like he is just trying to hit it onto High's field over here. But then when 2 strikes come, he's like, nope, I got a completely different approach. And the thing that impresses me is not only that he has the approach, but he stays within that approach.
No doubt about it. He was coached very well from a young age. He has a really solid understanding of the game and what he's doing. And then the self-discipline to stay with it. I joke about this, but it's the absolute truth. He can look awful on one pitch and then totally dialed in on the next pitch. And it's man, how do you do that? Great hitters make adjustments pitch to pitch, and he's one of the best I've ever seen at that.
Yeah, no question about that. All right, on the mound, we know Thatcher Hurd's going to get the ball first, and I saw we had the stats from last year up, and you start to look at those. We know what Paul Skeens was and Ty Floyd. You can't say enough about what Ty Floyd was as well. What do you expect to see from some of those guys that are going to be new on the mound? Although Thatcher Hurd, and you told us about this yesterday, down the stretch, he was as good as anybody.
Yeah, I think you look at Paul, you look at Rhett Lauder from Wake Forest last year. you can't get too much further of picking a pitcher that had the biggest impact on the postseason last year for anybody.
Right.
And, to pitch and win a national championship game, he gave up 3 runs in 12 innings at Omaha against the number 1 and 2 team. We won the regional because he struck out 12 against Oregon State.
Yeah.
Another great team. Great outing in the SEC tournament, great outing at Georgia. And the stuff is there, and really excited to see him pitch and compete. I think he's gotten better and is motivated, to continue to get better. And, if he can reach his potential, that's very meaningful for this team.
So you have some new players coming over as well, try to help you on the mound. Luke Holman is one of those guys. Now, new to LSU, but does it help that he's from the SEC? And so, he knows that expectation. He knows that every single time you go out there, you're going against the best in the country. Does that help the transition from Alabama to LSU?
Huge. And, when we were preparing to play Alabama last year, he just really caught my attention. The first time I saw him, he was pitching on Tuesdays for Alabama, and they were playing Samford right before we were going to play Samford.
Yep.
And I'm watching this guy, and I'd lost all focus on Samford and going this guy's not going to be pitching on Tuesday by the time we play Alabama. I love everything about Luke. His strikes, he's an athlete, he's competitive, he's poised, he's a great team guy. And that's a big lift for us. And it does matter that he's been through the experience. And I'd say the same thing for Michael Braswell, who's had as good a fall and early lead up to the season as you possibly could have and is locked in, ready to go. Those guys are very comfortable with what I would call the speed of the game.
Yeah, and when Braswell's sitting there at shortstop, obviously, that is such an important piece for what y'all are trying to get done, and him having that SEC experience. All right, let's stay with transfers. We talked about him yesterday, but Matt Bingham coming over from Arizona hasn't played in the SEC, but you know him probably as well as anybody.
Yeah, and he knows us. I mean, it's a lot of the same coaches with Coach Wanaka, myself, Coach Yeski. So we're in a really good spot there. He's had a great spring since we've come back. He's hitting approaches a little bit different than when we had him the first time, and we've kind of blended the stuff we do with some things that he feels good about, and he's super locked in right now. Plays extremely hard. He's fast. He's a good athlete, and will be a big part of our team.
Anybody maybe that isn't being mentioned or talked about that you've seen in the fall, you've seen how they've handled since they've come back in some of these scrimmages that you're excited to see, maybe that fans don't really have as a household name right now?
Yeah, there's several, to be honest. I think just telling somebody down there, the improvement of all the position players from fall baseball to now has been remarkable. I'm really excited that Brady Neal's a little closer to being fully 100%. And get him back in there. I think he's kind of forgotten about, but he was a super important part of our team last year. Stephen Milam's a freshman infielder that's going to play a lot, and I'm excited about him. Ethan Fry, so we have a good core, I think, of 12 guys that are ready now. And then there's a couple guys that can make a good contribution, like Ben DePolt was a backup infielder for us last year, and he had a great lead into the season. So the depth has really emerged here recently.
What about Josh Pearson coming over from the outfield, going to play second base? It's hard not to imagine Gavin Dugas and doing everything that you possibly can do to help the team and being a team guy. He has that feel to him as well. But what's that transition like, going from the outfield to play second base, and what work has gone into that?
Yeah, I just early on in the fall, and to the players, I don't know how to say this, but Tommy wasn't playing in the fall. We had a lot of new players. You're replacing, the best hitter in the history of college baseball, along with a guy like Cade Beloso, who you knew exactly what you were getting every time. A couple other guys were banged up. I felt like we needed to add options to try to get our best team on the field, so we moved him there, and he showed pretty good aptitude for it right away. And I was like, hey, let's just keep going and see what we can do. And then we had 87 days from the time fall baseball was over until today. And I just hey, you got 87 days, and this is what I want you to do.
Yeah.
We set a good routine for him over break, and then he went up and worked out with a guy named Taylor Young, who was a stud at Louisiana Tech, who's in the Dodgers system.
Yeah.
And he looks like a second baseman now. And the good part about it is he's still a terrific defensive outfielder, so he's going to do both of those things for us.
All right, so we've talked a lot about some different players. You mentioned some leadership from guys like Alex Milazzo, Hayden Travinsky, Brady Neal, somebody that you mentioned as well. And he was a starting catcher before he got injured last year. That's a lot of catchers. You got 3 guys that you can trust, so it's a great problem to have. what's going to kind of maybe be the mixture of making sure you get those guys on the field enough?
Yeah, I have a pretty good feel for how we're probably going to start out doing it. And I got through it last year with getting them all on the field and time. And, you know, knock on wood, hopefully they all stay healthy this year. They've all had their own problems with injuries and significant ones that have caused them to miss time. I think literally as I'm looking at this sheet you put in front of me, all of them started over 20 games last year. I think the difference is Alex is a special defensive player, so that gives him value in every game, whether he starts or comes in. I think Brady is a left-handed hitter that has really improved offensively from last year to this year. His situation is just health. Like, I really believe he's one of the best players in our program. And then with Hayden, I think he will probably take a lot of DH at bats, just simply because he can be one of the most dangerous hitters in the country and kind of take our offense to maybe not last year's level, but the best level it can be. And so I got a pretty good plan in mind, and we'll see how it shakes out.
You surprised he still is rocking the same facial hair?
I have no opinions on any of that.
Hey, it's a bit, and he stuck with the bit, so I give him A for effort there. I do want to ask you about one more player, Gavin Guidry. To be a freshman, and we've all been freshmen before, it doesn't matter what sport that you play. Like, a lot of times it's like, I'm just going to find my little way, and I'm going to get into my little corner, and I'm just going to help the team. And he did that, but the attitude that he had in a positive way, and just to go out there to close the door on a national championship game, that's something you just don't see from a freshman very often. He comes from one of the best baseball programs in the country, and so he's been in big moments. But Gavin Guidry this year, like, how do you see this year playing out for him? Obviously, coming in last year, I don't think that you would assume that he would have closed the national championship game.
Not at all, but I wouldn't put anything past him. He's this great combination of he's a great athlete and he's a great competitor. And usually those guys find their way. And that's exactly what he did. And we really needed him to step up, you know, with the pitching injuries that we have. And you know, he threw that last game by design. Like, I thought he deserved it. We never would have been there had he not emerged on the mound. And hopefully we'll be in, you know, regional, super regional, and, you know, Omaha-type situations in the rest of his time here, and we can get him back out there again. But one of the staple players in our program, you'll see us use him a lot.
Coach, the thing that you're looking forward to most this weekend?
I want to see our team play under control. You know, this is new for a lot of guys. And that's, you know, that's okay. That's part of the growing and the learning process. And something I've learned about opening day is everybody's always trying to do too much. And if we literally can just, you know, operate the way we have over the last 3 weekends in scrimmages, I think it'll be great, you know, but, you know, you're adding new elements or circumstances where you have to focus on the task, and we'll see how good we can do that.
All right, there he is, LSU head baseball coach Jay Johnson. Good enough to join us back-to-back days, and you heard what he said to start off. He only came back because it was me and not T-Bob. I heard that. Everybody here heard that, Coach. We appreciate your time.
Awesome. Thanks, Jacob.
All right, we will take a break. When we come back, we're going to be joined by Cade Beloso here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, over the last couple of weeks, we've been telling you about one of our new sponsors that we are fired up for, and that is Trash Rangers. Trash Rangers of Louisiana. Go to trashrangersllc.com. That is the website. Ascension, Livingston, they have got you covered. And look, go check out the reviews, and go check out when people are asking questions about Trash Rangers. Like, if you see a past customer, they're going to say absolutely it is the only move, and you're going to notice them. They got the bright red trash cans, they got the bright red trash, you know, they got the garbage trucks out there. They, like, everything they do, you're going to know it's them because of, well, the marketing and also the service that you get. Incredible service, reliable weekly service, no hidden fees, weekly text reminders as well. That number to get everything set up, 225-401-0838. And again, you can find everything and sign up, pay your bill, everything online, trashrangersllc.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The importance of doing this Fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the Fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a Fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
And welcome back into OTB here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Again, we are live right outside of Alec Box Stadium, inside of Tiger One. And now we're going to catch up with our guy, former LSU Tiger now, Cade Beloso, who joins us on the phone. Cade, what's going on, man? How you doing today?
What's up, man? Doing great. How y'all doing?
We are doing well, fired up for opening day, as I'm sure you are as well. It does feel weird, though. I'm going to be honest with you, Cade. I've watched you a lot of years, just like our listeners have watched you a lot of years here in an LSU baseball uniform. It does not feel right not having Cade Beloso getting ready to take the field a little bit later today.
Hey, man, it's all good. Life goes on, but I'm fired up to watch these boys get going and, the new wave of Tiger baseball, coming in. A lot of new faces. I'm excited to see it.
There's a lot of new faces, and we were just catching up with Jay. By the way, Jay stole your spot. Like, I was like, hey, Cade Beloso's supposed to come on at 8 o'clock, and, he came up here, he sat down, he's like, no, I'm 8 o'clock now. So blame Coach Johnson for that.
It's all good, man. I'll follow up the GOAT. When he says something, you got to let it happen. That's not a problem at all.
All right, Cade, you mentioned a couple of new faces. I know you still know the team very well, and still some faces that you were teammates with a year ago. But any new face that you're maybe looking forward to more than some of the others, like somebody that maybe even you had to face or you've known through your years of college baseball that you're excited to see here in an LSU uniform inside the box today?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, I'm very excited to see Luke Holman pitch on Saturday. Michael Braswell running out the shortstop. I had a lot of respect for him last year when we played them at South Carolina. I know he's a stud, so I'm excited to see him play this year after working with Jay and Chief and Coach Jordan and stuff like that. And trying to think newcomers. I heard Jake Brown's really, really good. I'm excited to see that kid play. Just excited to see the boys. Honestly, sit back and enjoy Tiger baseball.
Kate, good to have you, man. It's Troy LaBeouf. Got a question for you. We're talking about this year's team, but I want to take you back. Game 3 of the finals. You look at the lineup card. You are leading off. Take us back, man. Was that the first time ever that you led off?
Yep, and again, a real game, yes, sir.
What was y'all conversation about that?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of caught me off guard. I'm not gonna lie. He came up to me. We were in the locker room in Omaha, and I'm getting ready to do some early hitting with Chief, and he comes up to me and said, "Hey, by the way, you're leading off today." He said, "Don't make it more than it has to be. Just do what you've been doing the whole season." I was like, "All right, cool." And then I went to Cruz. I was like, "Hey, man, I know you have a lot of history leading off." So I was like, "What does it feel like?" I was like, "What to expect?" He's like, "Oh man, nothing. Like you'll be fine. Like it's just you just get more at bats than everybody else." I was like, "Oh, cool." Then I didn't look at it that way, and then first pitch get drilled the bat, so I didn't even have time to think.
Kate, I thought you were going to say you went up to Dylan Cruz and you're like, "Hey, you know why Coach put me leadoff? He saw me warming up in pregame. He saw the speed from first to second compared to your speed." I mean, I would have gone all in. I'm not going to lie to you.
I did mess with him a little bit. I was like, "Man, I'm hitting in front of you. That's crazy."
Table setter for Tommy White. Kate,
exactly.
Kate, obviously a long season. Tell the listeners and folks watching out there, this LSU team, if you look at the lineup from the beginning of last season to I'm looking at the lineup from Game 3, obviously different. Tell the folks how much of that changes throughout the year with the ebbs and flows of a long college baseball season.
Right. I mean, yeah, just like you said, the season's so long and, it's very grueling and mentally and physically demanding. And, everybody's got to be locked in, all 35 or 40 guys. I think you can hold now, 40 guys. Everybody's got to be locked in because you never know when your time is coming or, different games require different lineups and stuff like that. And especially when you have a loaded team like we had last year, and I know they're going to have this year and every year after that while number 2 is the head coach. He's going to play every guy, so you got to be ready to roll. But it's just one of those things. You got to stay locked in as possible.
Okay, we were talking earlier with Jay about guys like Thatcher Hurd, and you come into LSU with so much expectation, and look, as well as anybody, it's always a high expectation at LSU, and Thatcher had to find his way, and it wasn't always pretty there at the beginning of the season, but he certainly found his way, became one of the best pitchers there in the postseason. He gets the ball today. What are you expecting to see from Thatcher Hurd?
I expect him to carve, man. I mean, that kid is so special, and he's a really good friend, and I think he's the man. I think he's a great pitcher. But, I mean, yeah, there's ups and downs with baseball. And, Thatcher's been through some stuff, with injuries. And then last year kind of, finding his way. But, I mean, we don't win the national championship without Thatcher Hurd last year. And I'm really excited to see him be the Friday guy this year and, just dominate all season long. It's going to be really special to see.
Kate, a guy that's going to be – I know you played some first. You were a DH as well, but a guy that Hester and I talked a little bit about earlier, and we think it's going to have a great season is Jared Jones. Talk about that guy a little bit. He's not small. He's a big man.
Yeah, he's massive. He's a larger than life human. I wish they made everybody like that. But no, man, he's going to be a stud this year. I mean, my prediction for him is, he's going to hit around 320. I think he can get to 20 homers. Stays healthy all year, and I'm looking forward to seeing him take great at bats all year. I think he's going to have a better understanding, going into year 2, being a sophomore, and trying to figure out how teams are going to pitch him. He knows what's coming, and I know he's going to make the adjustment, and he's gonna murder some baseballs all year. And I'd definitely watch out if I was that ops building behind left field at football for sure.
Okay, man, you've got some players and Hayden Travinsky and then Alex Milazzo and Brady Neal that all are catchers, but just do whatever they have to do to help the team. Yep. And we saw all 3 of those guys play a big role in what y'all did a year ago. And it's almost like you have to have guys like that with that mentality, because there's going to be days that one of those guys doesn't play. Like just watching them handle that last year and knowing they'll probably handle it again this year. Just talk about the guy that it takes to be able to go out there and handle, even if you're playing well, maybe it's just not your day.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's just the nature of the beast. When you have three great catchers on a squad, and three guys that they're all different too. I mean, they're all different from each other. They're not the same players. So I mean, they could, like I said, each game requires different things. Maybe it's like a John Lester situation where a pitcher likes to throw to Travinski, or a pitcher likes to throw to Brady or Milazzo. So it could be one of those things, and maybe the team needs some hitting, and you sub one of them in. Never know. But that's the nature. That's like a good thing for LSU, having three great catchers, and then it helps the guys out as well. You keep them healthy. You don't want to ride one guy out all year till he gets hurt. And, it kind of helps those guys out in the way too. You know what's going on, and you're staying as fresh as possible, so you can help the team out and have advantage over the opponent.
Visit with Kay Beloso, national champion LSU baseball Tigers. 2 for you, Kay. First easy one. How many free meals did you get when y'all got back from the national championship?
Man, I don't know. Maybe a little bit.
Everywhere you went.
Hey, it's fine, dude. NIL like
Hester was the same way.
No, Hester wasn't. Hester would have loved. Hester would have loved the free meals.
I was out of college, so it was legal to do it. So I got to get that.
Last one.
Hester would have got a lot, man. Holy crap, he would have got a ton.
I got none.
Put your coaching hat on. Last one for you here from me. Before we get you out of here, your advice. You're coaching this baseball team. Your advice to this team as they navigate through this long season and knowing they ain't gonna get everybody's best shot with LSU baseball.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Your advice. Your advice to the team. If you were addressing the team, you got 30 seconds with the team. What are you telling this team as they go into the season?
Yeah, I mean, it's not even just because we won the national championship. It's just because we're LSU baseball. You're getting everybody's best shot every game. Just go out there and play the game you've been playing since you were 4 years old. Just to stay relaxed, stay in the moment. Be present. Don't try to think too far ahead. You gotta build bricks. Stack them day by day, and just have some fun, man. Because you're never gonna get that time back. And like I said, college baseball is so much fun, and you get to play baseball with your best friends for 4.5 months, 5 months, whatever it is. So just enjoy that ride, and you got to deal with whatever comes your way. Stay level-headed, through ups and downs.
All right, Cade, last one before we let you go, and we appreciate your time as always. How are you taking in this weekend? Are you going to be here today? I know you're in the real world, right? You got things going on, but I have to imagine you're going to find your way to the box.
Oh yeah, man! I'm gonna make some games this year. There's no doubt about it. Today I'm gonna go hit the course with my man Tyler McManus, the LSU alum as well. Yeah. We're gonna play some golf, maybe some birdie juice. Who knows? On a Friday, and then I don't know what I got tomorrow, but definitely I'll be out there Sunday checking the boys out and saying what's up to everybody. But I'm gonna definitely be watching, either updates or on TV all weekend long.
You think you'll get a ticket, Hess?
I think you can get a ticket. I think we can get our guy.
Me up for tickets.
Yeah, I think we can get our guy into the game at least for like 3-4 more years. Now, I can tell you from experience, Kate, like maybe like 7 or 8 years from now, like it's a little bit harder to find a ticket. But hey, for the next 4 years, you're set up.
Do the LSU running backs know who Hester is now?
If I tell them, if I tell them who I am.
Hey, I tell you what, they're freaking better.
They better know.
Kate, you're the man. We appreciate time. Look forward to seeing you at the box this year.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one.
You as well. There he is, Kay Beloso, one of the LSU greats, certainly a big part of that national championship team and that national championship run a year ago. All right, we are going to take another break here. When we come back, going to be joined by Kendall Rogers of D1 Baseball here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, go to communitysteelco.com, communitysteelco.com. They are truly your one-stop shop for everything that you need, and they are based right here in Gonzales, Louisiana. We tell you that all the time. So no matter what your steel needs are, metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, trim, they've got you. And the best part about it is the Gonzales, Louisiana part of it and the team over there at Community Steel. Top right corner of that website, communitysteelco.com. You go there, click on Community Steel, and it's going to pull up exactly where they're located. right? We're here at 8:30. You can go hang out right now. They welcome you to come check out their spot in Gonzales. And again, top right corner of the site, you can find that exact address. You can always call them as well. One of the things we tell you every single day, call them, you talk to them, they help you. They don't call and ask for permission in Dallas or Houston or Atlanta. No, right here, Gonzales, Louisiana, they help you, and they help you today. 225-647-2020, and always online at communitysteelco.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, and welcome back into OTB. We are here right outside of Alec Box Stadium, inside of Tiger One, getting ready for opening day. Nobody better to talk to about opening day in college baseball than our next guest. It is Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball, and a known hater of your favorite team. I think everybody knows that about Kendall. Kendall, we appreciate your time, as always. Thanks for jumping on with us. Did we lose Kendall? Maybe.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
He hates LSU. He hates LSU. That's why.
Hey, opening day jitters. I had it on mute. So opening day jitters. Yeah,
Hey,
you
it's
know
okay.
what? It's kind of interesting. It feels like it was about 2.5 months ago that LSU won the national title, and here we are already getting ready for another season. So it's here, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, it is, and it is exciting, and LSU baseball fans obviously very excited for this team. High expectations, as there always is in Baton Rouge. But, let's just take maybe a look at the totality of college baseball right now. There's some great teams with some great arms. This, Kendall, looks like one of those years potentially where we're going to have 5 teams that maybe stay in it all year long, and there's not maybe that one favorite, but a group of teams that we can see truly having a chance to win a national championship.
No, I totally agree. I think this year's wide open. I think if you look even at, I'll point to Wake and LSU for starters. I think if you look at both of those teams, both of those teams on paper look really good. But both of those teams on paper, aren't without holes. I think if you look at Wake Forest with, losing some offensive guys, and obviously Nick Kurtz is back. In the same vein, LSU has Tommy White back. But, losing Dylan Cruz and really what's huge for me is losing Trey Morgan. Can Barrett Jones replace him, at least be a decent defender over there where Trey was such a vacuum last year. So I think you're right in the sense that there's probably 5, 6, 7 teams that I think can win the national championship this year. But it makes it exciting whenever you have teams like LSU who, last year, it was all about Paul and Dylan and guys like that. And, I felt like, after Paul, it was kind of like the pitching staff was the pitching staff. Well, this year, I think the pitching staff is actually the strength to start the year. I think the pitching staff is really deep. So what's cool is a lot of these teams are so elite, but they're very different.
Visiting with Kendall Rogers of D1 Baseball. Kendall's Troy LaBeouf. I want to talk about a particular position group for LSU. I think you're high on this group as the catchers because a pitcher's best friend is a battery made of catchers. Talk about that group with Neal, Milazzo, and Travinsky.
Yeah, it's the best catching group in the country. TCU would have an argument with Curtis Byrne and Carson Bowen, but when you have a trio like that, it's special. Milazzo, I feel like at the end of last year, started really coming in his own offensively. Yeah. He's always known as a defensive guy. I feel like he's starting to become a dual threat a little bit. Hayden Travinsky, obviously a really good hitter, big-time leader for the Tigers. And then you have Brady Neal, who to me is just a jack of all trades. And the reason I say that is because when I talked to Jay in the fall, it's kind of like, hey, yeah, he might catch, but I could also see him playing at second base if things don't work out. Josh Pearson, he can actually move around a little bit. So to have 3 guys like that is special. And the other thing, too, is to have, Brady Neal in that position for next year when those 2 guys leave. And you're basically going to insert an elite catcher who's already proven after you lose 2 guys. So it's a special situation. And, again, I think in college baseball, 2 things are really important to me. It's throwing strikes and having a really good catching situation. If you don't have a really good catching situation, it can make an ultra-talented team look pretty average.
Kendall, we were talking earlier about LSU's rotation. I know you mentioned them there a little bit, and it is going to be more of a strength than it was a year ago, even though you lose Paul Skeens, to your point, the totality of the group. And Thatcher Hurd gets the ball first here today at Alec Box Stadium. And he was somebody that came in with high expectations. We know that, and did struggle at times, certainly at the beginning and middle portion of the year last year, but really came into his own at the end of last year in the postseason. What do you expect from Thatcher Hurd this year?
Yeah, I tell you what, I think you made a good point there bringing up the end of the season, because I thought when you look at the end of the year, that was kind of who I saw in the previous fall. When I saw him in the previous fall, when they scrimmaged the Cajuns, it was a slider with a 3,200 spin rate. It was a fastball up to 95, 96, and that's kind of who we saw at the end of last year. If that is the same guy we see this year, I think he's going to have a fantastic season. I think if you look at Luke Coleman, he's not going to throw 98 like Paul. But what he's going to do, he's going to pound 90, 94. He's going to pound the zone. What you see is what you get every single week. There's massive value to that. And then, what happens after that will be very interesting. Obviously, Gage jump. It seems like they're taking either slow with him or he's a little bit nicked up. And that's obviously a situation to watch. But, honestly, hopefully this is not the case. But let's just say he's down for a few weeks. They're fine. You got Nate Ackenhausen. Obviously Gavin Guidry will be a guy that's big on the back end of the bullpen. But maybe that's a situation where you kind of groom Cam Johnson a little bit. What's been fun for LSU is when I was talking to those guys in the fall about Cam, they were like, you know what? Hey, the arm strength is unbelievable. I think he's going to be really good. But guess what? We have a situation right now, depth-wise, where we don't really have to rush him in anything.
Yeah.
All Gage jump being down for a little bit does is there may be a guy out there you may need to rush into this a little bit, but it may be a guy that throws 98, 100. So that's a pretty good situation to be in.
Kendall, you were looking at my notes. I wanted to talk about Cam, but you kind of touched on it. But I do want to talk about we talked about the pitchers, but I do want to talk about a guy that Hester and I talked about earlier, Mac Bingham.
Yeah.
Tell the folks out there what type of player Bingham is coming from Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, dude, LSU fans are going to love this guy. He is just a total dirtbag. And by dirtbag, I don't mean a little dude. I mean, a lot of people think dirtbag just means a little guy who's scrappy. But he's got some physicality, man. He can really hit. He's got a very mature offensive approach. I think he plays his position just fine. He is just a do-it-all kind of guy. And, I think as you look at this LSU lineup, obviously Tommy is going to have a great year. I think for me, it's going to be interesting to see what Mac does in the SEC. It'll be interesting to see what Paxton Clean does as well. I think Paxton, for me, has a ton of upside. I think he's ultra talented. I think he can have a huge year. And I think if he does have a huge year, I think this team has a very good shot to repeat as a national champ.
One of the things we were talking about, I feel like it's just so important for somebody to be able to protect Tommy White. And last year, this lineup had so much protection, so many different layers to it. Like, that might be, Kendall, my biggest question for the lineup. I think there's certainly candidates to do so, but making sure that Tommy White sees good pitches is going to be, like, point of emphasis number one maybe for me.
Yeah, there's no doubt, and I can't believe I got this far into this and hadn't mentioned Jake Brown because he's like my man crush for this season. But I think if you look at guys that could step up and really help Tommy and really help that lineup, Jake Brown out of Sulphur is the guy for me. I think he's going to be a superstar there. The first time I saw him in the fall, I wouldn't say he looked just like Dylan Cruz to me, but it's one of those things where you see a guy just in one at bat. In his first at bat, and you're like, "Whoa, this guy's really good," and that's the feeling I had with him. I mean, it was it was big time pop. It was a great frame from the left side. It was elite speed. I feel like you looked down when he hit a ball in the corner, and he was already at third base. He's a very athletic guy with a lot of pop, and I think he's going to have a really nice year for them. And then I will say this for LSU fans. I think patience is needed with this offense. If you're expecting last year's offense on opening day, I mean, we might be really surprised, but I don't think you're going to see that. But what I do think this is going to be is a team that early on is very good on the mound, and as the season progresses, continues to get better and better offensively. The one thing with Jay Johnson, the common denominator with him is very good offenses. And so even if they don't start the year elite offensively, I have zero doubt they'll end up that way.
Last one for me. Terry Rooney joined the staff. This is a really good staff that Coach Johnson had. Talk about Coach Rooney's role. Obviously, he worked under Coach Maneri, but in the position he's in, Associate Director of Player Development, Program Development, Recruiting, I think that's a big get for the Tiger program.
That's a really good get. I mean, to get a guy to leave a top assistant and recruiting coordinator position in the Big Ten to go to LSU just gives you an idea how great just being at LSU is. And so I thought that was a great pickup. I think he's a guy that obviously knows what the championship mentality and make it needs to be. He knows the lay of the land down there, certainly from a recruiting perspective. And, yeah, I mean, you look at the amount of experience in that staff, and it's honestly kind of incredible.
Kendall, where are you going to be this weekend before we let you go? I know you're going to be inside of a stadium somewhere watching baseball.
Absolutely, man. I'll be at Globe Life. I'm actually about to head out the door as soon as we get done here. And we got Tennessee against Texas Tech tonight is kind of the headliner. That's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, that will be a good one. I think we're all going to be eye-hustling what's going on there in Dallas as well. Kendall, you're the man. We appreciate your time as always. And thanks for jumping on with us.
Yeah, enjoy the box this weekend. Later, guys.
All right, Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball, good enough to join us here on OTB. All right, final break of hour number 2 coming your way now, continuing our coverage of LSU baseball opening weekend when we come back on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, go to ColemanRoof.com, ColemanRoof.com. Truly the only place that you need to know because it's roofing and construction. So Coleman Roofing and Construction, right? we had some rain over the last couple of days. Certainly a couple of days ago, it just never stopped. It just continued to rain, right? If you noticed a leak during that time, well, you need to call Coleman. And also, if you had any damage from that leak, you call Coleman, because they can do both. Truly a one-stop shop, right? They can fix your roof, fix the leak, but also fix whatever water damage was caused by the leak. And that's what sets them apart from everyone else. And this is throughout the state of Louisiana. So no matter where you're listening to, OTB, Shreveport, Alexandria, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, we are talking to you. So ColemanRoof.com is that website. Again, they can do it all. Call them today. The number, depending on your location, is right there on the site. But here in Baton Rouge, 225-379-7663, ColemanRoof.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Bayou Ford has new 23 Ford F-150 STX trucks for only $39,995. $39,995 plus 1.9% financing for 72 months. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $17,500 off new 23 1500 Bighorn trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $17,500 off new Ram 1500 trucks. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri.
Here is the money that I owe you. Yes, you can pay the bills.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
And OTB here live from Tiger One right outside of Alex Box Stadium as we continue to get ready for opening weekend. Before we get some final thoughts from Troy, I want to remind you, rejuvenemedical.com. That is the website to go to today to find out what's going on right? Because maybe you have something going on and you can't get to the bottom of it. You don't know what's going on, but you know something's just not right. You can find that list of conditions they can treat for you right there on the website homepage, RejuveMeMedical.com. You can always just text them as well, 225-442-0646. They make it as easy as possible to get that consultation set up because they want to help you figure out what's going on and get you to feeling like your youthful self. Again, RejuveMeMedical.com. All right, Troy, thing that you're looking the most forward to here this weekend inside the box as LSU opens up their season?
Just the excitement you're going to see with, the fans are going to be, the fan day they have set up all around us right there. All the folks are getting ready. It's going to be fun. It looks like we're going to dodge the rain a little bit. Coach moved that game up to 2 o'clock. He's a very, very smart man. He wants to get his game in. But I think the fans are excited to come out. A couple of players I really want to keep an eye on. I've talked about Mac Bingham quite a bit. But Michael Braswell, I want to see.
Yeah.
He only committed, I think, 3 or 4 errors last year at South Carolina, and that was something that was always talked about with Jordan Thompson. I want to see how Braswell handles. I mean, look, he played in a good program at South Carolina.
Yeah.
But he's never played at LSU before as far as putting this uniform on, playing in front of these fans. I hope Braswell comes out and just plays his game because I think he can be really good. I think the pitching staff's going to be fantastic. What do you play, 56 game? 56 total, Hess?
Sounds good.
I'm going to go 40-16.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm going to go 18-12 in the SEC. That's my prediction.
All right. Look, 18-12, that dog will hunt in the SEC.
They went 19-10 last year.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So this is going to be your opportunity.
19-11, I think.
I know you've been holding this, but it is your time to wax poetic about Jake Brown coming over from Sulphur.
Yeah, man. I talked to Coach Moore about Jake Brown. Obviously, most coaches, if you would ask your high school coach to talk about Jacob Hester, he would say good things about him. Just a player that –
I hope so.
Yeah, absolutely. A player that had heart, a player that played with everything he had. But the one thing when you talk to Coach Sam Moore, Sulphur has a really good program. One of the top programs in 5A or Division I non-select. The thing he talked about him, I quote, the guy's a winner. He played with the USA Olympic team. He's a 5'2" player. He was a part of winning a gold medal. But the biggest thing that he just said about him, he rises to the occasion. He's got a pedigree. Both of his parents were athletes. So he's got that pedigree. He is not – Coach Moore was not surprised that Brown's going to be in the starting lineup.
Right.
He was not surprised. And
Kendall Rogers just – we didn't even –
unsolicited.
Right, yeah, I was about to say, we didn't even lead him there, and he found his way to Jake Brown as well.
Yeah, he could probably pitch for if you needed him to. He was 90. He sat at 90 last year from the left side. But and I know this staff is full of left-handers. They are loaded with left-handers. But I think he's going to have an opportunity to be on that lineup card every day in right field as long as he hits.
Yeah.
He doesn't let this whole thing consume him too much.
Right.
But Coach Samore was really high on Jake.
I think I'm, and I still have another hour here to to talk baseball, but I think I'm most excited just to see the guys that have been here for a long time in new roles, like roles of leadership and roles of higher expectations. And, Hayden Travinsky and guys like that last year were such a key part of what they did in a national championship run, but now Hayden Travinsky's wearing number 8. He is a guy that's probably going to play most days, if not every day. If he's not catching, he's going to be DHing. And how, he takes this new role. Because, again, very important to last year's team, but how he takes this new role. Thatcher Hurd on the mound, right? It was Paul Skeens on the mound, and then it was Ty Floyd. And now it's going to be, this is Thatcher Hurd. He's the one. He's the guy. And I always look forward to seeing, how they go from being a piece of it to being maybe the main piece of what ends up happening for this LSU baseball team.
I would agree with that. Gavin Dugas wore that number 8 last year, and he wore it great. He played at a small school, Homer Christian, came in here and played just about every position you needed him to. Probably would have caught if you needed him to. You know who he didn't barely talk about today is Tommy White. That just shows you we already know when you throw him in there what he's going to do, but we barely talked about him. So my apologies, Tommy Tanks, because he's going to be fantastic for this LSU baseball team.
He is, and he's going to be healthy. He is going to be healthy. I hope our listeners know, and I think they do understand, when you have a shoulder like that continues to pop in and out, I have had that. It is miserable. It is awful. Right? And then like in football, we used to have to wear like this harness that you tie to your arm and then it would go to your shoulder. So you didn't have a lot of flexibility in your arm. Like you can't do that in baseball. So you just have to play through it. You don't have any piece of equipment that you can put on that to prevent your arm from going in and out in your shoulder. And so him fully healthy after having surgery, you might see an even better Tommy White. And he led the country in RBIs a year ago. We're closing out hour number 2 of OTB. Anthony Renato, Rivers Huey will join us in hour number 3. But Troy, you're the man. We appreciate you stepping up when T-Bob's out just gallivanting somewhere in Florida doing God knows what.
Yeah, call me when you take off, man. I'll be happy to jump in. Take those days. You carry them over. You got to use them, man. It was fun. I look forward to listening to the rest of the show.
It always is. Hour 3 of OTB coming your way when we come back on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Elevate brand visibility, ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Guarantee Digital Media brings the two together as a trusted media partner in Louisiana for nearly a century. Claim your free digital audit at guaranteemedia.com.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Place. Find out more at ololmc.com/heart. Our Lady of the Lake Regional Medical Center.
Great. Your windshield cracked. Now what? Call Advanced Windshield. You have things to do. That's why they come to you. Advanced Windshield is the leading mobile, auto glass, and camera calibration provider in our area. Call 225-248-6788 or visit advancedwindshield.com.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX, Jackson, KNXX, Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. on Friday, February 15th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect cloudy skies with a high of 67 with a few showers mixed in there as well. In hour 3 of today's show, Rivers Huey and Anthony Renato join Jacob Hester on location. If you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can catch them at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. You can also follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from Alex Box Stadium, starts now.
We're just 60 minutes away from the end of the OTB work week. Screw it. Why not start now? Pop the cork and pass the glass. This is Champagne Shenanigans with Rivers Huey on Off the Bench. Now, here's T-Bob Hebert, Jacob Hester, and Rivers Huey.
We'll see a lot right there. There's no T-Bob Hebert.
There's no champagne.
There's no champagne shenanigans. I see I see a community coffee tent over there. Look, we're on location sometimes. Maybe you could bring the champagne out at 9 a.m. But I think with the weather, it's a little bit colder here. I think we're going to go
We do
coffee.
have a puppy.
Yeah, I do see a puppy.
Yeah,
Which is way better than champagne.
Lila made an appearance. Yep, that's my little girl.
She's always a star already, Anthony. Like anytime I come into the shop, like my boys, they're there for cards, but they're also there for her.
Yeah, it's crazy how many people actually come in the shop for her on Saturdays and Sundays. They're like, "Is the dog here?" Yeah. And then they wind up buying stuff too, so it works out great. I'm like, her name's really ROI. You know, that's it.
Okay, wait. This is a weird question because I've known you for a long time. Yeah. But I was thinking, I was like, when I'm talking to him, am I supposed to call him Anthony or am I supposed to call him Renato? Ooh. Because I guess when I'm talking about you, I say Renato.
Yeah. Well, either one of them work because it's the first and the last
I don't know.
name.
Well,
so
like
both. Yeah.
Jacob Hester, he likes to be called Jake.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Just some, you know, insider info here. So, you know, I like to call people what they like to be called, but I was thinking about that. I was like, I don't know if I've ever said your name to you.
Yeah, I answer to anything, honestly.
Okay.
People call me Tony. It doesn't matter. I grew up, and my dad literally was like, you can call me Angelo. I don't care. He's like, you and I are friends. Like, he's like, I know I'm your dad. So ever since then, I'm like, I never cared. People, you know, mess up my last name all the time.
Hey, look,
Ronaldo
my name is Rivers. I get all sorts of
they put an L. It's crazy. Yeah.
It's okay now, though, with Cristiano.
Yeah, I'm not upset about it. Yeah, like, if you want to associate me like that,
well, so I'll be calling you Tony.
That's good.
Yeah,
actually, low-key, I like Tony.
Well, that's what me.
So kind of the move.
Yeah, if you call me Jacob, I probably don't know you.
Yeah.
Like, if you call me Jake, then I know we know each other.
Yep.
I don't know. Football players, I feel like, go by their last name more than baseball players.
Yes.
Yeah.
I called you Hester for a long time before we were friends, and now the idea of calling you by your last name is kind of weird.
Yeah. Get a lot of Hess.
Yes.
I like Hess.
I think you maybe call me
I
Hess.
call you Hess, yeah.
So I don't know.
But I'm gonna mix in Jake now. Yeah, I'm gonna mix in Jake now. There we go. We're friends now, officially.
Yeah. We've known each other for a long time.
Facebook official, guys. You heard it here first.
Oh, that definitely used to be a thing. We are here for opening day, and y'all, there's nobody more excited than Hunt Palmer. He's in the chat. He's already ready to go. It's 9 a.m. He's fired up. He knows players from last year's VMI team. He knows who's starting for VMI today. He is already locked in and loaded. He'll be here as well. He'll be doing the Hunt Palmer show here from Tiger One. This is like home turf for him. He does shows in Tiger One every weekend during the football season, but it's finally here for Hunt.
He is just living his best life. I feel like he's thriving. He's in the chat. He's probably hovering around somewhere, honestly. He's like going to peek out behind a tree.
He is the guy, like fall scrimmages. He's the guy with the icy and a snack in the stand.
No, I love that about him. Good for him. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I haven't seen Hunt in a while, so I'm excited to see him.
Although I did hear him talking about, I guess he went to a scrimmage or something, and he brought his son, and he was like, I saw none of it. I just mostly chased my kid around.
Yeah, exactly.
That's on you, Ricky Bobby.
Welcome to being a parent.
You got to know that that's going to happen.
Yep. Sporting events are much different. Post-children.
For sure. And when they get older, it's great.
Yeah.
When they get older, it's great. They start to understand, and you can have some fun. And plenty of games this year. I went in, and we had 5 tickets, and so we kind of split up how we went, and it's a lot. Hunt, you'll get there like in 9 years.
Oh, no. I feel like
9 years
it still, even for me, feels so far away. Like, we go at least one time a year to a game in Starkville. And, you know, like, Duty Noble is a fun place for kids anyways, because there's just so much going on in the outfield. They have like a kids section, and there's people cooking and whatever. But like, I don't watch not 1 minute of actual baseball.
Yeah.
It is just
full-time job.
Yep. So it's a little different. So I'm also moving towards.
You're closer than he is.
I'm closer than he is.
So you guys could just do what I do and just not have any
That's
kids.
true.
I'm just kidding.
I
You
know.
have all the kids.
You
You
know
got them all. You got every age too. Yeah.
Sometimes I think that I'm like, we really messed this up.
You guys got to.
No, you got to get through the toughness of it, right? And you're close. You're getting
so
closer.
close. I can
Once
see
you
the
get
light.
there, there's nothing better than sharing like a game memory with like a son, daughter, doesn't matter. Like to be able to, even disappointment. My oldest son is a Chargers fan. We have a lot of disappointment together, but we have it together.
Sharing the sorrow.
Yes. So you're going to get that.
That's awesome.
So opening day memories, does anybody have anything? Rivers, I'm sure you've done Mississippi State opening day, even though you've lived here for a while.
Yes, I know. It's been so long. I've probably done it more here now than they.
True.
I mean, it's been, I like to catch Mississippi State mid-season, or maybe like right in the beginning when we're still playing, the last few years. No one. I don't like to catch those SEC games because,
Well, you're bad
we be
luck.
catching those hands out there, and
Ooh,
the last few years has not been great
Yeah,
for
national
Mississippi
title.
State.
You guys won a
3
national.
years?
Yeah, it's
3 years ago, right?
Still in the window.
Yes,
It's in the
I know, and we're still, from what I understand, we are still,
rebuilding.
we're still rebuilding. Actually, I think that's the problem is that we're not really, we are not. It's just a lot of older players, and I think for a long time after we won that Natty, people were like, okay, did we win that because of Lamonis? Or were those Andy's players?
Right.
We didn't know at the time. Now we know.
Yeah, I think it's clear.
Now it's clear. So Andy, if you're out there,
Yeah.
take us back.
We went through some of that too, like so we won a national championship and it was Coach Miles and he had been here for like 3 years. Like, that
That's
was
right,
with
yeah.
Saban's players. It's
Yeah.
like, but 3 years is a long time.
Yeah.
Like, but if you do it like the next year after or 2 years after too, you do have to ask yourself the question.
You're like, ugh.
was this you or was this the guy before you?
And look, I don't want to take away from Lamonis, and he's fine.
A lot of pressure this year.
It is a lot of
Recruiting has changed though since back in the day. Like, I mean, for me at least, like I didn't get contact until my junior year. Some of these kids have been committed since
Same.
8th grade.
Right.
In these baseball
That
players
sounds
too. So it's
awful.
Like, it's unbelievable.
Like in 8th grade, I was worried about like a couple things, like passing out Usher mixtapes, not getting a scholarship. You know what I mean?
Puberty. Like I'm like, there's no way I was getting recruited in 8th grade.
I would
Like,
have hated that.
yeah, I didn't want to commit to college. I didn't even know what high school I was going to.
Yeah.
Like,
How tall? We were talking about height the other day, and people. How tall were you in 8th grade? Were you at your? When did you start growing?
I was always tall, but
Okay.
like not crazy taller than everybody else.
yeah.
But I mean, I still was 6 foot in 8th grade.
Okay.
But I jumped 4 inches going into freshman year, so I was
Okay.
6'4" when I showed up.
That's significant.
Yeah, exactly. Like literally in 2
How's that
months
happen?
grew. I don't know.
That happened.
I don't know. Just hung upside down a little while, like
Yeah.
stretched out. I don't
I've been
even
the
know.
same size since 8th grade.
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. Yeah.
I mean, girls, get taller sooner, and so probably 6th, 7th grade. I've been 5'8" since then,
Wow.
and the boys they just.
Caught up. Yeah.
Yeah, but it
eventually.
took a- it took a
that's
while.
probably tough growing up like that. Yeah.
And I remember I have a friend who, he was definitely, I remember in 6th grade being shorter than me, and now he's 6'4".
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
yeah. So he.
That's wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had our growth spurts at different times.
Yeah, but imagine recruiting someone and
That's
having
what
to
I mean.
keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Like.
I feel like they would have been pumped if they were like, "Oh, wait, you're 6. Oh, so you're 6'4" now. This is cool. Okay, cool.
This is great.
Like, I don't even know how you identify talent. There's so many things that happen from 8th grade till you're a junior.
That's what I
Uh-huh.
mean.
Mentally, physically,
Emotionally,
Hell,
just
I was
a
playing,
person.
I was playing nose guard when I was a junior.
My sophomore year, I was nowhere near like the jump from my sophomore to junior and then junior to senior in high school was crazy. That's what I was like. I wasn't even on a. I was actually I was on that trajectory to be a basketball player, and then it was like, oh, I got kind of good at this baseball, like really good at the baseball thing. So, yeah, it
Is it
happened
because
quick.
of travel baseball now that everybody goes to these tournaments and they see them in 8th grade and they try to project?
I think so, and I think it's just the competition. It's like once they figured out. I think what happened and was the loopholes of text messaging, and Snapchats, and things like that,
Right.
and you could just get to these kids quicker.
You can market yourself a lot
Correct,
easier.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so it just started happening early. And some talks that I had with some recruiting coordinators and stuff, I'm like, why are you recruiting these kids in 8th grade? He's like, because if not, I lose them. Like,
Yeah,
otherwise, somebody
yeah.
else is going to get them. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what? When do we stop? Like,
Yeah.
We're getting them out
Where
the
do we
womb.
draw the- yeah,
We're like, you know
yes.
what? Your parents are good. They had a good pedigree. Let's just commit right now.
Well, that's like anytime you see just a giant football player who's in like 6th grade, Nick Saban's already talking to him. Or I guess he's not anymore.
Not anymore.
R.I.P.
Not anymore.
I'm sad.
Not anymore.
Oh, wait. So somebody brought up my hat. I wanted to shout out. This is Stephen Schock that played for Virginia. He has
They
a
gave
brand.
a great viral interview. If you don't know,
he's basically baseball's T-Bob Hebert.
That's awesome. That's actually a good comp.
He did the viral interview about the Dippin' Dots and all the stuff. But he has a company. I think he has a podcast now, but he sells a bunch of baseball merch. I got this last year.
That's cool.
So shout out Steven.
I like it. Like the colorway too.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
I like it.
Any opening day memories for you?
You know what's funny is, if I was a gambling man, and I like to gamble every now and then. If you could gamble on the weather, that's what I remember about opening day. Is it's always raining, it's always cold, and like leading up to opening day, it's always beautiful. And then it's like opening day, it's like it's 40 and raining, and the wind's blowing straight in. So those are always my memories. But honestly, I was fortunate enough. My freshman year, I was in the old box in 08, so I got to be part of 09, the first opening day here.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
And I wanted to be in the Friday night pitcher that year, but Lewis Coleman came back for his senior year, and he got to pitch opening night, so it was really cool. I just got to enjoy the festivities and just sit around. We did fireworks, so that's probably my biggest memory. And then the next year in 2010, I got to start opening night, which was really cool too. So just those are probably my fondest memories here. Yeah.
What is the thought process when you're starting an opening night? Like you build all the way the fall and all the scrimmages and everything, and then like it's your turn.
Yeah.
Like was your process different getting ready for that game compared to any other start?
I think so, just a little bit. You know, I think the fans are anxious. I think that pressure to throw strike one is probably the biggest thing. It's like,
so you're just like everybody else that throws out the first pitch.
Yes,
you're like,
100%.
dude, I have got a lot of pressure to throw a strike
I cannot
here.
even begin to imagine. I think I ran into Casey McKenzie recently, and we were talking about the Rougarou, and he was like, you should come out. Maybe we'll get like a first pitch thing happen. And I was like, there's just absolutely no way.
No shot.
No, I mean, I can throw a baseball. I know I can, but I would get out there, and I would totally lose it. I couldn't do it.
I think the smaller of the stage would be worse. Like if I was going out to like
12 people are there, and you're like,
didn't T-Bob do something like that? Didn't he bounce one or like?
Tiger Park.
Okay.
Wow.
He tried to go underhand, which I appreciate.
Yeah. He was
but he
embracing
bounced it.
Yeah.
You always go over, not under.
100%.
As far as getting to the plate.
Well, 100%.
That's my nightmare. So I cannot even begin
Yeah.
to imagine.
And then I had to throw out the first pitch the next year. Maneri, like, he kind of had that thing, like, where like, the guys that got drafted, he brought them back. So opening weekend on Saturday, packed house. And I was more nervous. I'm like, my hand is shaking, and I'm like, I just forgot all about how to throw a baseball, and I think I just threw it like this, like I'd never thrown it one before. Like, can I do it lefty, like something like this is looking like 50 Cent.
You were on the
out there.
rubber though, right?
Honestly, I don't know.
Why'd you go in front of the mound?
Yeah, I'm scared, dude. I'm being honest. I'm just gonna be real. I'm not gonna sit here in front. Yeah, I mean, we'll have to go back and check tape.
Choice, national champion.
I think I was like, you know what, guys? I haven't thrown yet. I don't want to risk injury. I just got to throw light.
Wow.
Yeah. It was probably one of my softer moves in life.
Yes.
That's all right.
Yes. Well done. All right, we're gonna step away for our first break of hour number 3. More to come here live from Alec Box Stadium when we come back on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Go to allstartoyota of BatonRouge.com, allstartoyota of BatonRouge.com. It is the place to go if you're buying new, if you're leasing, or if you are looking for a rental. Buying new, of course, everything is available. Same thing, though, in the leasing process and the rental process. Everything is available. So midsize SUV, full-size SUV, Sienna. If you want a truck, they have multiple trucks. Tundra, Tacoma, sedans, hybrids, they have it all. Not everywhere is going to have that, right? Yeah, if you're buying a new car, but not leasing and renting. And per-day rental prices, by the way, so check those out online. And if you need it for a day, if you actually just need it for 6 hours, they've got you covered. It is the best rental department out there. Again, when everything is available and fantastic pricing, you can't go wrong. Go to the website, allstartoyota of BatonRouge.com, allstartoyota of BatonRouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends April 30th, 2024.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
The best.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back into OTB live outside of Ballot Box Stadium, inside of Tiger One, here with Tony and Rivers.
Thanks, Jake.
Sitting here, yeah, there you go, chopping it up for a couple more segments. Dustin to the rescue. He heard that Rivers didn't have her champagne, and Dustin Lovelace just saves the day.
Man after my own heart.
Happy
he just
for you.
came. I know. So that was what I was so excited about. I forgot when we were on location. I always forget when we are and when we are not on air. So we were, and that's what I was excited about.
It's not like you've produced this show or produced it on the road like 2 weeks ago.
Once it's not your job
organic.
anymore, you you don't remember things.
We were saying the energy is high here. It's opening day. It's all right. You just showed your emotion. We like that.
It is very high. I heard you talking with Moose there, Tony. Things you're most excited for to watch inside the box this weekend.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Thatcher Hurd. I think there was a lot of hype around him last year coming into the year as a starter. He struggled a little bit in the midweek, in the beginning of the year, but then really found his role at the end of the year and in the bullpen, and then obviously starting some huge games for us at the end. So I'm excited to see him just capture this atmosphere, see his fastball. I'm hoping he's 96, 97, letting it rip a little bit. So, and Moose said they have a nice prospect in their lineup, and they returning 7 out of the guys from last year. So it'll be a nice little challenge for him, and I'm excited to see how he sets the tone. Yeah.
It does feel like a different team. Last year, obviously, it was all about the lineup, and you had enough pitching. You had the best pitcher in college baseball last year, and then Ty Floyd, what he was able to do in the regular season, but certainly in the postseason. But it is a little bit flipped. Now you feel like the strength is the arms, and the lineup's got a couple, not question marks, but guys have to prove themselves.
Yeah, and that's it. Tommy White's obviously going to be the centerpiece of that lineup, and that's what I'm anxious to see. Who's going to protect him? Who's going to bat in front, behind him? What Jay's going to do? And you've already heard him say in the media, it's going to be a different Don't expect home runs and gorilla ball and all that kind of stuff. You know, they're going to be hitting and running. They're going to be stealing bases. And I went to the scrimmage on Sunday, and you already saw it. They were safety squeezing and things like that. So I think it's just going to be a different game, and I'm excited to see how Jay manages this lineup this year. And like you said, one of my biggest things, and I said it all last year, to win a national championship, there's always got to be somebody that steps up, 1, 2, 3 guys. You know, so I'm anxious to see who that's going to be this year. And the guy Monster, I don't know I just know his nickname Monster, but he's he's a smaller dude, but he's jacked, and he hit a home run. Oppo, like they hit a bunch of home runs on Sunday, so
you get nicknamed Monster.
That's what I'm saying. And he's a smaller dude too. It's like, but he's jacked. So I'm
I
like,
gotta do some.
Shout out Monster.
Yeah. Hey Moose, whose nickname is Monster?
Yeah. He's a second baseman, smaller
Monster?
guy. Yes. Stephen Milam.
Okay.
Okay, Steven.
Yeah, Monster Milam.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Ooh, what a name.
That is great.
That's
Nice
a lot
swing.
of pressure. That's
Nice
a lot of
swing.
pressure, though.
Yeah, it is.
Uni fits him tight. Like we're like, woo.
Wait, like tight, like he could go up a size.
I think he
because
could go
the
up a
muscles
size.
are okay.
But the muscles are
He
legit.
could go up a
Okay.
size.
Yeah, he could go up a size, but it's a different, it's a different
baseball
generation.
uniforms fit kind of tight.
They do.
Although there's all the
Certainly
drama right now in the MLB with the Fanatics taking over the uniforms. Have y'all seen all that?
Yep.
Nike took over and they gave it to Fanatics, and all the uniforms are not fitting. And look,
Oh, I didn't hear that.
They gave it to
That's
Fanatics?
interesting.
yeah, so the pitchers
Fanatics
and
has everything.
So pitchers and
Everything.
catchers are there right now. They're at spring training, and they are all complaining about how they're
Wow.
not fitting. And so the rest of the players are going to get there.
I want to do some recon on this. This
Yes,
is
but
wow.
apparently and then Fanatics is taking over the NHL jerseys also in the next year.
Oh my God.
And so this is not good marketing for them.
Wow. Fanatics is changing the game, though, and I'm in the collectibles world, and they do an incredible job
Yeah.
there. But they also took over the licensing for NBA, MLB, and NFL, too. So they're going to be doing – it's just they have a monopoly on everything.
Maybe
yeah.
this will be a good test run. I mean, not that you want your test run to happen, Major League Baseball,
right.
but for the NHL at least.
Yeah,
they can
absolutely.
start to get some things right. But, yeah, everyone's complaining.
Wow,
so
that's
it's like,
interesting.
But it connects to Nike, so then Nike's got to take the blowback as well.
Yeah, wow.
But
Interesting.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than a boxy uniform.
Yes, and that's
it's
why
the
it's
worst.
not
It's
looking
awful.
People always ask me, like, oh, you're a Nike school. I'm like, we wore Russell Athletic when I was here. I would sweat, and it would just drip. It would, hang down. I'm like, this is disgusting. This is not dry
Y'all's
fit.
jerseys when you played here were 7 pounds apiece.
It was unbelievable.
They were terrible.
I'm probably TMI guys, but which is crazy to say, the hottest game I ever pitched was in Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah.
And it was the
hot.
championship
it's
game.
hot there.
I would go into the dugout the clubhouse in between innings, and we would wring it out and then go throw it in the dryer. Like
It was
Micah and I, the catcher.
so
yeah.
hot
and
in Omaha.
Maneri's in there getting fanned and stuff, like getting IVs and everything.
No dry fit?
No dry.
No dry fit for Russell Athletic?
Yeah, sorry, Russell.
No,
you guys weren't absorbing the sweat.
Look, if Russell's still out there, they're hanging on by a thread already. So I don't think
Not a good thread. Not a good
I
thread.
think you can still get Russell Athletic brand stuff at Walmart, and that's not a shot at anyone, but because I don't mind all the Russell Athletic stuff, but you can still find it.
Auburn
Yeah,
football was Russell Athletic until not that long ago.
Oof. It was. That's why everybody's always like, "Oh, these Nike." I'm like, no.
No.
We
won
were
it without
because
that.
basketball was
strange.
Nike. We were Nike. We had everything Nike.
It was awful. And then when you get to Omaha too, like you get all these care packages and
Yeah.
stuff. All our crap was not Nike, was not all the good stuff Adidas, and we're just getting Russell
How
Athletic
did that happen?
3X's and 4X's, like the extra stuff.
Everything for Russell's 3X. There's
100%.
there's nothing in between that.
I don't think I wore anything that they gave us from the College World Series. Just gave it to my dad, and everybody else in the family is like, here's a nice nightgown for you. It was awful. It was awful.
Oh gosh, and DeMarini was right. Maybe
I think we had
Was he
Easton
back?
bats.
Oh, did you?
We had
Okay.
those. Remember those orange stealth bats?
Oh yeah, that's
People
true.
would be
Yeah.
rolling them or whatever they were,
Yeah,
and all
yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff. They would be like cracking the insides of them, so the ball would sound like it would like be a dead spot, but it would just bounce, and balls were going 120.
Because
off
then
the
they
bats.
moved to DeMarini after.
Right
you were
after. I
done.
think it was the next
And
year,
then finally, thank God,
Yeah.
I went to Marucci.
Yes, finally.
Oh yeah, see, look, I have way too many LSU Russell Athletic Walmart dry fit shirts.
There we go.
They're
So
still
they make
rolling.
dry fit. Just
not for y'all.
I think they tried to say it
Skip
was.
and Smoke and Paul's like, we're not doing that.
Yeah, I think dry fit was a new technology at the time, maybe, and they were just they were testing out their technology.
Look, I didn't want to call you out. Like when you said you played at the old box, I'm like, you old son of a gun.
Yeah, I'm old. You were before me.
I know, that's what I'm saying. And I'm the old guy on the show.
Look, let him get off his old jokes when
It's
he can.
wise.
You know?
It's wisdom. That's what I think.
Because T-Bob and Rivers are younger than me, so I don't ever get a chance to at least throw some shade.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like being the old guy now, though. I run the shop, my shop, and everybody's a kid there. Like, they're all young, so I'm the old man. I like it.
Do you see like an uptick in the shop, like opening day, like stuff like that? Guys maybe trying to come in, like find some LSU baseball stuff?
Yeah, and you know, I have just been blessed that I opened up a collectible shop when we had Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Angel Reese, all these names, and then Paul Skeens and Dylan Cruz. So, I mean, people are just coming in and just asking for the craziest stuff, and luckily we have some stuff, and they make baseball cards of Skeens and Cruz and all that stuff. So, yeah, people are coming in asking, and fan favorites like Trey Morgan and things like that and stuff. So, I'm excited to see Tommy's cards this year, next year and stuff. It'll be interesting because everybody loves Tommy.
So, when you opened up the shop, I guess you didn't have an idea that would be a possibility.
No, it's one of those things that you try something and sometimes you get lucky, right? And they just come off the national championship for football, and then collectibles kind of exploded in 2020 and stuff like that. So everybody wanted some Joe Burrow stuff.
Yeah.
And every kid loves Jamar Chase and Justin, and obviously they're doing great in the league, which obviously helps too. So so I think I've just gotten lucky. It's one of those things where timing is right, and we're trying to take advantage of it and create a great experience for everybody too. So we try to have unique stuff in there, and that's what I try to tell stories and have unique memorabilia and things too. Even from 09, if anybody ever remembers it. Usually nowadays it's the dads that are coming in with the kids and they're trying to tell them like, hey, I used to watch him. I'm like, oh god. The kid's like, I don't care.
It's
like, where's
humbling.
Tommy White?
It's humbling.
Where's Tommy White?
It hurts, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit, but I'm happy for the kids now. You know, but it is. Yeah, it hurts a little bit. I'm like, whatever.
You were talking to Kate about that. You're like, give it like 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was asking Kate Beloso, I was like, so, like, do you have to get a ticket? Somebody was making a joke about him getting into the game. I was like, no, for like 4 years, you'll be able to walk in there and find a way into the game.
Yeah.
That 5th year, they're like, Kate who? Beloso? How do you spell that?
Beloso?
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
For me, I didn't have a beard. I didn't have tattoos. I had long hair, too. So people are like, you look like somebody. And I'm like, I'm not. Can I just have my ticket?
That's when you go by Tony.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm Tony. Nice to meet you.
You go.
Tony.
Rivers, are we going to talk Mississippi State Air Force?
We are not. I mean, it is happening. It's happening.
We are not.
I think Kendall Rogers actually has Mississippi State getting the last spot, the last at-large bid into the NCAA tournament here before we start the season.
I always like listening to Kendall. I trust Kendall.
Kendall's good at his job.
Yeah, so maybe Kendall says so. Mississippi State's always a little surprising. I mean, I don't remember. ESPN put something out yesterday. I can't remember. It was like predicted win total, SEC win total or something.
Oh, yeah.
We were just so far at the bottom. I think it was like 4.5 or I don't know.
Somebody bought a Hester rookie card yesterday.
Oh, hey!
Jake, there you go.
Okay.
Shout out.
Make sure their last name's not Hester.
It's his grandfather.
The one that did it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think they had Vanderbilt below us, which is also kind of funny. But
wow, really?
Mm-hmm. Okay. We were both down 4.5. So
I'm trying to find it. I thought I had it.
It was like on
saved.
Instagram or something. But you can always count on Mississippi State to like sneak out a couple that you're not expecting. Just vibes and atmosphere wise, like that changes everything when you get into that stadium. But I hope. I still love going. I still love baseball. I mean, I was thinking about first you said opening weekend memories or whatever.
Yeah.
All my memories are kind of just like vibes, like you were talking about the weather. I mean, the weather's not great and maybe there's always rain, but it's always just like, it puts me in such a good mood.
The energy.
Like the energy, everybody is walking around us, like setting up, getting ready for fans to come in. The music is going. I love just like stereotypical baseball stadium music.
I got out my car at 8:45. That's why I was like, I'm filming. This is crazy. Like, it's just like, this is awesome. You don't see this anywhere else.
I just need to hear Jesse's on a vacation far away. Like, I just need some real baseball jams pumping into my ear. And because, I mean, this is good. This feels good, weather or no weather. So I'm excited. That is my biggest opening weekend memory. It's just like the feeling that you're finally there. You're finally back to baseball, and you're in spring, and so the weather is about to start getting really
Crawfish
nice. Crawfish.
Yep.
You're going to be sitting, watching baseball. It's going to be hot on your skin. Oh, I don't know. It just feels good.
That's one of my favorite things. I never got crawfish season when I played professionally for 7 or 8 years, and so I was like, wow, this crawfish thing is great with the weather, and like you get to go watch a game, like people are tailgating. I'm like, wow, this is great.
This is what people are
this is why
doing.
my dad wanted to come from Jersey every weekend. Like, this is it.
I got so lucky. So in San Diego, they have a huge alumni chapter in San Diego. It's the biggest crawfish boil of any alumni chapter for LSU, and it's at it used to be Qualcomm Stadium. is right at our stadium.
That's awesome.
Oh,
that's
you should have
incredible.
seen. So our California friends, Katie and I would go and we'd bring like our church friends to the crawfish boil that went from Louisiana, and they would get like 1 or 2 crawfish, like they were lobster, and put them on the plate. We're like
using a fork and knife.
Yeah, we're like, you're gonna need like 3
how do I
pounds,
open this?
not
Yes.
just like 3 crawfish.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good.
That's
and just to
incredible.
watch them, it was like.
I would love to watch California people eat crawfish. I mean, I'm from New Jersey. It took me 8 years to learn how to eat a crawfish, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing this crawfish thing. And then once I realized that,
You just got to learn. You just got to learn how to open it.
Oh man, it was so good. 4.5 was the win total,
Yeah.
so Vanderbilt was underneath them at 2.5.
2.5. Okay,
So-
sorry about it, Vandy.
So there you go. That is the Mississippi State win
Isn't
total.
that wild,
4.5.
though? Vandy, I mean,
Vandy, win 3 games. Just win 3 games, and you'll cash a ticket.
Wow.
how the turntables, I mean, look at that.
The one that's like the most like surprising, like when you see Florida, we're talking
I
football
know,
win
it's making
totals.
me feel less.
Florida at 5.5.
I'm looking at this list. It's making me feel not as
What?
bad as Mississippi State.
Like think
State's down
about when
here.
you and I were in school, and Florida being at 5.5 win total.
I can't imagine. No,
they were like.
I mean, Tebow was.
They were a pillar.
Yeah, that was the Tebow era for
It
me,
was
right? Like
06 they won it.
Yep.
07 we won it. 08 they won it.
Yep.
Oh, this is
That was
football.
literally-
I wasn't even. This is football.
You were thinking
Sorry, I was
baseball? That they were
I
gonna
don't
win
know.
3 games?
No, I don't even remember what
Hopefully
I was.
they win 3 games sometime this year.
I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking like baseball series, I guess. I don't know what I was thinking. I think I was thinking
At first,
SEC
I was
baseball
I was
series.
confused too. At
I was
first,
like, okay. Well, that's not as surprising.
The only reason I knew it was because I knew
4.5
Vanderbilt's.
low, though.
I knew Vanderbilt's number. That's the only reason it clicked for me for
that's
football.
why I was like, why is no one surprised that Vanderbilt's at the bottom here? What's happening? Did I not know
Or
this?
Florida.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm feeling.
Oh, Billy's in trouble though.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Oh, Billy.
Well, that's what I don't. So when we were in Mobile for Senior Bowl, we went out. T-Bob and I went out to eat one night, and we went out kind of early, so we got to watch everyone, all the coaches and like the agents, and everybody was like coming in.
Yeah.
And Manny Diaz walks in, so he's like new coach. Everyone's really excited about him. They're just like he's holding court. Everyone's around him.
Yeah.
And sweet little Billy Napier comes in, and he is just like by himself. No one wants to talk to him. He's like, well, T-Bob was like, it's basically the stench of death.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like it's really sad.
Because like everyone like that's there like for a job, they're like, well, we're not gonna talk to Billy because Billy ain't gonna be there.
Yeah, exactly. This interview
It's
might.
tough.
Yeah,
That's-
exactly.
that's
That is
tough.
tough. That stinks.
And when you win 6 games in your first year, you win 5 games in your second year. Now they're telling you that your win total set at 5.5 at Florida.
Florida. How are we not in 3 years getting some better recruits in there doing something? It's Florida.
I don't know. You know they have the desire and the want to.
What, how did they finish last year?
5 wins.
Okay.
They were horrible.
Yeah.
And you win 6. Like the Florida coach can't win 17 games in his first 3 years. Like that can't happen.
Damn, when you say it that way, too.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, then question. I mean, you know, obviously NIL's changing a lot of stuff as far as recruiting goes. You would, I mean, maybe I don't understand Florida, but I would think Florida would have some money to throw around.
No, they do.
Yeah,
They
I
do.
would
I mean, this
imagine they do.
this
'Cause at this
recruiting
point,
class
it's like-
was good.
Yeah.
It was going to be elite, and then the guys, the money's great, but they started to see the product in the field too.
Yeah.
They're like,
Well, but I mean,
I
and
can get
that's-
money other places.
Well,
Florida
that's my
State's got a good little
question.
thing going too right now. So,
Well, I guess that's my question is like as a player, you know, yes, you're obviously looking at programs that are successful. You want to be part of that, but like also if someone's paying you a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Does that matter as much?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, if the team that's paying you a lot is, you know,
it doesn't matter,
Texas, fine, yeah. But
I'm not going somewhere to suck.
Right, that's the thing
Like,
too.
Well, that-
money's
I'm sure there's
great.
That's the
and there's
question.
money probably at this, Florida State and Miami
Yeah.
and other places too. Yeah.
They got to get some things
I
going.
know
there.
you
All the-
hate. I know you hate to see it.
I know. I love it. I hate the Florida.
No one
Gators.
hates Florida more than Jake.
No, I can't stand.
My
it.
freshman year is when Tebow did the phone call thing too. Like that was the 07, was
Yeah,
it 07?
how'd that
right?
game in for?
Oh no, I know. I was pumped.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I stayed for a whole game, but I stayed to watch you finish that thing off, dude. I was there. I stayed the whole game.
Oh, I love it. All right, we're going to take a break here. More coming your way from Alec Box Stadium, OTB, when we jump back.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, go to GoTommies.com, GoTommies.com. That is the website for Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding. You can go to the website there, and it is GEAUX, and that is Tommy with a Y. GoTommies.com for all of your window needs. And check out what they can do for you in doors and siding as well. They got a list of services they can handle for you on the website. Also, testimonials of past clients. You can check out galleries of past clients, what they've done for other people here in this area, right? And they're going to be able to service this area. They've been doing it for over 20 plus years, so over 2 decades of experience. And also, they have won that Angie's List Super Service Award every year since 2016. And no years in between, every year since 2016, because of the service and the quality of product you're going to get from Tommy. So again, go to the website, find exactly what they can do for you and your space today. Check out the windows, the doors, the sidings, and those testimonials we tell you about. The website, gotommys.com, GEAUX Tommys.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
He's here. Anyone want a Coors Light?
Oh, shoot, I forgot to play the song. I got a guy who can fix this.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Josie's on a vacation far away. Come around and talk it over. So many things that I wanna say. You know I like my girls a little bit older. I just wanna use your love tonight. I don't wanna lose your love tonight.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Alondra always listening, always paying attention.
Alondra.
Back in studio. You called for it, and there it is. It is a great baseball song here for opening weekend. We are outside of Alec Box Stadium in Tiger 1. And I know that Rivers appreciates walk-up music, and
that song was actually Jake Mangum's walk-up song. So to be honest,
you heard that a lot because he was there for 17 years.
It ruined the song like a little bit.
Dude, Jake Mangum played college baseball for a long time.
He was good, but
he is the mayor of Starkville.
Who played longer, him or Cade Beloso?
Oh, I feel like he was there. I mean, felt like I was playing against him. I mean,
you faced him. There's no doubt.
I think so, 100%.
He was good. No, he was great.
He was there for a long time.
Like you had to be good, I guess, to be there that longer. They'd be like, "Hey, you got to go.
It's time for you to go.
You got to leave.
But here's the deal.
Your scholarship is out."
He was, and probably same with like Cade. And Jake's playing right now still, but he is thriving in Starkville. Everyone loves him. So when he's done playing, he is going to be in Starkville. He is going to be the mayor of Starkville.
Why do you think me and Tony come back?
Exactly.
That's true.
We can do stuff like this. Get the heck out of here.
I got to stop calling you Tony. I'm really going to call you Tony.
Actually, Tony's the move.
I embrace it. Yep.
All right,
I embrace it. I love it.
All
I actually do like it. Yeah, I really
Wait,
do.
so,
Uncle
okay. LSU walk-up songs released there. I mean, everyone's is released at this point.
Yeah.
NC State released, but LSU released theirs like 2 weeks ago, so they were
They
on
want you
it.
to get ready for it.
There's nothing that I love about college sports more than looking at the walk-up songs.
Yeah. See, I like being surprised. I like being surprised.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
And for me, I like to see how they're going to walk up to the plate, why they pick it, like their little vibe. I'm
I
like,
mean,
all right.
you got to pick a vibe, but you also got to be careful. Like, you got to know thyself.
Yep.
You know, like you can't be
100%.
coming too hot out of the gate with something and then
Or if it doesn't fit your personality, too, you're
underperforming.
like, yeah.
Yes. But I feel like LSU did a really good job this year. There's a good mix of stuff.
I like Jake Brown's got a hitting and a pitching.
I was about to say, that's a flex.
Yeah, that is a little flex.
Like, I'm going to go different
a walkout
song.
Look, he's like, when I'm hitting, it's Usher, for sure. Got those Usher vibes. But when I'm about to pitch,
I like it.
Biggie, little Biggie.
Let's
Yep. There's always going to be a Lupe Fiasco. There's always going to be a superstar. Always.
Of course, Jumpman for Gage Jump.
This Thatcher.
Yeah. Yep.
Oof, the
Where's
chain.
the chain?
That is a good one. That
Okay.
intro to that song is.
But are they going to play it tonight and opening night? Because usually, isn't it like calling back? There's always some sort of.
Don't mess that up. Y'all better play the chain.
That's true.
I don't know.
What
We'll
are
see.
you doing?
I'll be see.
Look, Mississippi State, someone has this too. I feel like things are coming full
Fireman.
circle
Yeah.
because when I was in college, someone was this.
For us,
But
it was Blake Dean, and Blake Dean was the guy. I don't know if you remember Blake Dean, but it was like, shh. Fireman.
But that was when Fireman came out.
Yeah, exactly,
You know,
true.
so like we are
Here we
full
are.
circle.
Let's not date
Ed
ourselves.
Easley. I don't know if
Yeah.
anyone remembers Ed Easley.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that was his walkout song, but that was when it came out. So we are full circle. Little Zach Bryan.
Dude,
Something in the Orange.
Something in the Orange is a great song, but
I don't know about
I'm gonna hear it in the baseball stadium. Yeah, when you're coming to the mound.
Yeah.
We got
Soul Survivor. I love that one.
Everlong, love that intro. I love Foo Fighters so much. Pursuit of Happiness.
That's awesome.
Pursuit of Happiness is probably my favorite.
That's going to be a good one over the loudspeaker, too.
Yeah,
Like,
it
that's
will
going
be
to be
good.
good.
Fireball by Pitbull.
Wow.
What a move. What a move.
I also like we got Hall of Notes for Will Helmers. He's got Rich Girl.
Oh, my God.
What else we got? I mean, like, this is.
Finally, somebody uses Dream On from Aerosmith.
Yes.
So Luke Holman's
Yes.
going to use that. I always thought, like, if I'm a pitcher, Dream On.
Yeah.
Like, it just fits.
Yeah,
like, you're going to hit me?
yeah,
Come on, man. Dream On.
Keep thinking.
that's-
I like that.
I
yeah.
like that, too.
I'm anxious. Luke Holman's one of my favorite things this year to watch. I'm anxious to see
You
how
think-
he develops.
He understands the SEC, which I was
Exactly.
talking about with Jay earlier. Like,
Yeah.
that's big.
Yeah,
Because, like, you can't, even if you're a really good player from somewhere else, like, there's an adjustment period when you come to the best league.
Yeah, and when you're a Friday night starter at Alabama, and you led the league and basically the base runners allowed, so
Yeah.
he's not giving up hits and walks. I don't know. I'm anxious. I like the way he pitched last year too. I mean, I'm anxious to see how he fits here. I really am.
I don't. Maybe this is like I'm an old now, but
I'm an old
now.
I'm an old.
Cody Jinks, or is that like country? Who is Cody Jinks?
I don't know.
Do we know who that? Okay, yeah, I don't listen to country music either. So
Me either.
we
Nice, we're
got
on the
two
same page
Cody
there.
Jinks in a row. So
Wow.
I mean, I think
must be
Cody.
popping.
I'm pretty sure Cody Jinks is kind of in that same like a
Zach Bryan.
Zach Bryan.
Okay,
like I
okay.
feel like I don't know his work great.
Hey, look,
but I don't.
Beyonce and Lana Del Rey have announced that they are doing country albums. So maybe I'm about to get back into country music. I
I
don't
thought
know.
you were going to say somebody had a Beyonce song.
I did
That's
too.
why I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh, boy.
yeah.
Who
You're
picked
like,
that one? I need to know.
Did y'all have the ability? Did y'all have? No.
Oh, you didn't get to pick?
No.
Are you serious?
What about in the big leagues?
I think.
Well, yeah.
Do you remember?
No, not in the big leagues.
You were worried about
I was just trying to stay in
you
the
were
big
like
leagues.
you were fighting for your life.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, you know what? The walkout song's least of my concerns. You guys just let me pitch. Like, just get me on the mound.
Well,
you know?
look, we have a Boyz II Men. I'm into that. Return of the Mac.
That's
for Mac
his
Bingham.
name's Max.
So
they
good.
did play it the other day on Sunday for it, and I was like,
Love
I like
that. I
All right.
love when you can
Mac in
incorporate
my
your
name,
name.
Yeah, 100%.
Love when you can do
100%.
that. I always say if I was a baseball player, and I would be so successful, obviously hitting all the home runs, the most home runs, I would do Not a Player by Big Pun. But you can't be using that song
Big Pun. I love
unless
that.
you are hitting
Yeah, you
them
gotta-
all.
you gotta mash.
Or recently, I like to, especially when walkout songs come out, I like to start like listening to music like I'm picking one out for myself. I'm like, would this work?
Yeah.
Would this work? And
So
one
when you
that
listen to music in general, you're like, ooh, if I had a walkout song.
this would be this. I
Nice,
do
yeah.
that all the time. TLC's Creep. The intro, it's like,
I love
it's
that.
me again. I'm back.
Ooh,
like if you
okay.
were like,
Yeah.
if you're a hitter,
I like it.
you know you're gonna do it. That intro is perfect.
I'm trying to think.
Actually,
Like, that's a lot of pressure.
I remember actually. You know what? My junior year, they let us pick. Well, I'm sure the hitters got them. You know, they did because they. But the pitchers, I think, got them my junior year. As a starter, the starters never got them because they always played a song to start
True,
the game.
yeah.
But my junior year, I came out the bullpen and I picked the Real McCoy. It was a techno song. I'm from Jersey, and that was when
From Jersey.
That's when that's when Jersey
baby.
Shore came out that year, my
for
junior
sure.
year. So I was
Yeah.
like, Jersey Day, baby, we got to get something going. Let's go.
Yeah, play into that.
Yep.
God, that's a lot of
So I got to
pressure.
hear
I
that
don't
a little
even
bit
know.
up there. Yeah.
I don't even know.
Well, look, shout out to all these LSU baseball players. Y'all did a great job this year.
Nobody went Till I Collapsed by Eminem this year. I think we had that the
Do we
last
have-
couple years.
Somebody, I think Mississippi State did Eminem.
That's always the
They have a
go.
couple
There's a lot of
Eminem
Eminem
guys.
songs
They're-
in there.
yeah.
but-
Hand Clap's a good one. That's just like a good,
Yeah, that's a
just
good one. Yep. Good
kind of a
vibe in
vibe.
this. Yep.
Good vibes.
Yep.
I think I'm looking forward to this.
Wow, only one NBA YoungBoy. I feel like a lot of people love YoungBoy down here too.
Yeah.
A lot
for
of people
sure.
love YoungBoy down here.
But
Sure.
like, I think that we really were all over the board. Hall and Oates.
Yeah, it's
The Hall and Oates
Yeah.
is
J-Lo and
Oh,
Pitbull
look,
in
there
there
is
too.
Eminem here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a
Got a
couple.
little
There's a
Eminem.
couple Eminems
Yeah,
I saw.
okay.
There was
All
another
right.
one too. I didn't know this Eminem song in the top. There was somebody else who had Eminem.
Oh, let's see.
What is it? Square Dance?
We're-
Gavin Guidry
You
had
gonna, you gonna learn today.
Yeah, I
you
guess
gonna
so.
learn today.
Guess so.
We're up against the break, but we're also getting some pushback from our producers saying Cody Jinks is bigger than Zach Bryan. Alondra, so
Don't make me fight
disappointed.
someone.
Look at
So
us learning.
disappointed in the lack of Cody Jinks knowledge
I
from
love Zach
Alondra.
Bryan though, so I'm just gonna not be able to take that.
We're learning today.
We're learning.
Like I
We're
will,
learning.
homework assignment, Alondra. I will listen to some Cody
I'm
Jinks.
teachable. I'm teachable.
Cody Jinks
I'm coachable.
on the way home. All right, we are going to take our last break of the show, but before we do, want to remind you about our friends over at MMR. Go to mmrgrp.com. We tell you all the time, like if you want to find that career, they are truly somebody that is doing so many big things here in Baton Rouge, but really across North America, but they're still here in Baton Rouge. That's the thing that we love about them. They are local, and you can go to any search engine, type in MMR Baton Rouge. It will pull up everything that they have available as far as careers. And so MMR GRP is their website. But again, go to any search engine, MMR Baton Rouge. You'll pull up exactly what they have available. Proud to be partners with them here on OTB. Ask the Bench to close out today's show when we come back here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, go to allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com, allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com. Like we told you a couple of minutes ago, it truly is a one-stop shop for all your vehicles needs because they have everything, something for everyone in every lifestyle. So if you need a truck, if you need a midsize, full-size SUV, if you need a van, hybrid, no matter what you're looking for, they have got you covered. And if you're buying new, like you expect everything to be available, certainly. But when you're leasing, a lot of places they have like 3 or 4 options. Everything is available there at All Star. If you're buying, a new and you check out some different models, like maybe they have one midsize SUV, maybe one truck. Not the case over at All Star, but also in the leasing and rental game. Per day rental prices. Call Miss Lisa Sessions today in that rental department to get that vehicle reserved for your next trip, or if you just need it for one day. AllStarToyotaOfBatonRouge.com, AllStarToyotaOfBatonRouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Join MMR and ignite your career today. MMR is the largest electrical and instrumentation contractor in the nation, and they're seeking talented individuals to join their team. For over 3 decades, they've been headquartered right here in Baton Rouge, and they have offices all around the globe.
And MMR offers a tailored path for both professional and personal development. outstanding benefits, and a dynamic culture. So whether you're an intern, a seasoned pro, or you're just starting out, see what MMR can offer you. Apply at mmrgrp.com.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagine.
Well, I started on the whiskey pretty early this morning.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back into OTB. Alondra Taylor, I'm assuming that is Cody Jinks that y'all brought back to try to teach us the ways.
Okay, what this so I think this is where the disconnect is happening. That is not the same as Zach Bryan. I think they are 2 different genre of country music. Like, that's just not my kind of country music. Zach Bryan is a little more like indie country vibes. But I'm sure people who listen to country music love that. Obviously, there's 2 people from LSU's baseball team who chose him as their walkout.
Well, one of the LSU baseball players, Thatcher Hurd, who's going to be starting tonight, just walked by with a Smoothie King. That was his pregame meal of choice.
Look at you. What do you? I mean, well, I guess it's different for football players than it is for baseball players.
Yeah, baseball.
Well, if you were a baseball player, what would your pregame?
We would never see, but the difference is we would never have the ability to get ourselves to the stadium. Like, we have to take buses everywhere. They don't trust us with anything.
There are so many less rules for baseball players.
Oh, so many. We have pregame meals. Baseball in like the professional ranks, there's no curfew. We have curfew as grown men.
But you also have to keep in mind. I mean, baseball players, Major League Baseball players play how many games per year?
Way too many.
Like the max amount. The limit does not exist. So, like, you cannot be curfewing people that many times.
And you find yourself that's another part. Like, we take a bus to every game.
Not to say, look, I know all games matter. All games matter. You want to win all games. Y'all really needed to win all games.
Yeah. It's
as a baseball team, you know.
Let's get to some of the Acid Bench brought to you by Cold Coors Light, Vizzy Hard Seltzer, Blue Moon, Light Sky, Citrus Wheat. Is having Neck as your walk-up song too strong? I mean, no. I mean, you just got to know that the student section in right field is probably going to sing along. I don't know.
Wait, what was the question?
Is neck too strong of a walk-up song?
I mean, yeah, I think yes.
Yeah.
It's like a little aggressive. I think in a football stadium, it's a different vibe than it would be in a baseball stadium.
Yeah, probably so. What would your walk-up song be?
I mean, I already said mine would be. It was going to be Not a Player by Big Pun, but now I think I'm switching to TLC Creep. What's yours? I know it's a lot of pressure if you haven't
Probably
thought
Till I
about it.
Collapse by Eminem.
You do
That's
be
why
loving
I do love
Eminem.
Eminem.
Yeah.
Ask the bench favorite baseball player of all time.
Derek
I thought you'd have an
Jeter.
answer. Mine's Chipper Jones.
I know. Well, no, I was running through all the Mississippi State players because mine's always going to be a Mississippi State player, but I don't think I can choose. It's like picking babies. It's like picking a favorite kid.
Which we all do at certain times. Chipper Jones is the answer, though,
Is that the answer?
for me.
Oh, but y'all are friends now, too. Can
Yeah.
you pick him, though, because you're friends?
because I grew up. I had a Chipper Jones, like jersey and deal. Yeah,
I guess.
can't help that. It turned into being friends.
I'm not going to pick one because,
Oh, that's a great
they're
answer.
all my babies. I love you all the same.
Ask the bench, has anyone done a wellness check on T-Bob? Having the Cannon and him on a bachelor party is wild. Sounds like a good time.
Wait.
Yeah, I think it's Bo,
Bobby
the
is gonna be
Cannon,
there?
T-Bob, and then Bo's future father-in-law. So Bo's having 2 bachelor parties.
Okay, I mean, look. I think T-Pop might be the most responsible of those 4 people. If you can imagine.
I don't know.
T-Bob is going to be the glue for this group. I don't like the sound of that at all. I mean,
I don't know Bo's future father-in-law. That's a saving grace,
he is a
maybe.
fun guy, from what I understand.
Okay, so never mind. Maybe you're right. You have more insight than I do.
That's crazy. Well, every now and then I get an update from T-Bob just generally in life because he's reading my Romantasy series. So we check in.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard from him since I gave him the second book, and I thought I would by now, so I'm not sure.
All right. He's already been in the OTB group text this morning, so I think he's doing okay.
Okay.
I think he's doing okay. Last one. Ask the bench, could Rivers do 5 military push-ups?
Ooh, no. Maybe. Probably not.
I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Like, that's like some straight up. Like, when you and T-Bob do push-ups, y'all kind of like, skirt the edges a little bit.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.